Thank you for joining the AEO Podcast, Episode 3. I'm here with Willis and Robert, who's currently muted himself.
I'm here.
Oh, well. Uh, First thing we're going to go over, well, we have Troy in here too. He's going to be a guest. I don't know if he plans on sticking around through other episodes. Gonna say hi, Troy?
Something's not working right.
What do you mean something's not working right?
Everybody's awful quiet. I don't hear anybody.
Probably laughing at my... yeah. No, we didn't hear you up till now, Willis.
Oh,
go ahead and say hi.
He's probably stuck cringing right now. I don't care to repeat myself.
I don't hear Troy either, so I don't know if he's still there.
He's probably laughing because that reminded me of the first one. Anyways, first thing we're gonna go over is the rando of last week. It's Hackadolls. I did not finish it. I only watched the first 3 episodes, and it's gonna be an immediate drop. I don't know if it's just me, but the second episode only 7 seconds long, no matter where I looked at it. Did y'all have that issue, or did y'all actually find a second?
Yeah. I don't know where you were looking, but I watched the first 4 and the last episode based off a recommendation. And in my opinion, I didn't like it. I knew going in I wouldn't like it, but it did have funny points. It had lots and lots of great references that they played correctly. Apparently, from someone's research, they went very far with the references to make sure that they did it right.
Yep.
Well, I did like the actual general concept of it. It was just a matter of the short burst episodes. And really the execution of it, I'm going to say, because I didn't like as many of the joke references. But I know Robert finished all of it, so let's hear your opinion.
Okay, so I finished the whole thing. Not necessarily because it was the best thing ever, but because I was bored, and they're 7 minutes long. And it was Studio Trigger, and I may be a little bit biased that I like at least hearing them out. So I guess my opinion is that if you look into what it was for, it's a promotional anime for an app. So immediately your bar for what it should be lower than normal, because it's not designed to be. It's kind of like Dragon Ball Super Heroes or whatever it is. It's a promotional anime. It's not meant to be like, oh, it's the biggest best thing ever. I mean, I think we can admit Dragon Ball Super Heroes was not exactly the greatest thing.
No.
I didn't even know.
I'd be okay with it not existing, but it's not bad. It's not horrible, but it is meant for promotion with their little game they made.
Right. So with Hackadoll's the animation, I feel like, having seen all the episodes, obviously it's a pretty gimmicky show. It's just, I mean, if you've seen one, you've ultimately seen all of them in a sense that you know what's going to happen, more or less. But they do throw some kind of interesting things in there. What I feel like is this. Trigger did the best with what they could. I still feel like their character designs are usually, even when they're, just thrown together for something like this, they're still pretty damn good overall. Like, I think the way that they look is about as good as they were going to get within the parameters of whoever specified what they
agree.
Especially there's one thing Trigger does well is they do hair really well. Like, look at Kisniver. Like, all the characters in there have, especially like Nico, for example, her hair is like, I mean, I could talk about how crazy that shit is for a while, but I like I said, there are a lot of references. There are references to everything from JoJo to fucking like Western cop dramas to Dragon Ball Z, which is why I told him to watch the last episode, because they pretty much shot for shot took a bunch of Dragon Ball Z scenes and they recreated them in the series, which was pretty funny.
Yeah,
it was a nice touch. They referenced there was one of the episodes later on, they referenced Food Wars. I mean, you could pretty much imagine how and why that was referenced. Just thrown in there randomly. Clothes exploding, people talking about food and stuff. Yeah. Obviously, it's full of fan service, especially episode 4, and I think also episode like 8, because they have obviously, you know, like episode 4 was just like this close to being like hentai, pretty much. I mean,
It was close borderline. Yeah.
it was borderline. There was
Etchy.
one scene. Well, there was one scene where she like gets something spilled on her, and it looks like something, and then they freeze frame on it for a little bit, and it's like, yeah, you know why they put this here. There's a reason. Like, it's pretty obvious. And he's like, oh, let me get you a towel. I'm like, God, come on, guys. And then there's obviously a hot springs episode. And let me see. One thing that you guys, right? And there's one obvious trope that I think you guys could probably guess. Like, if there's one other thing about the anime that they would have thrown in, what do you think it would have been, based off of the characters and the stuff that you've seen so far? Just take a guess. Anything? No.
Nope. Nothing.
Okay.
At all.
So the lolly is a trap. I mean, that's pretty much the only.
Okay, that just dropped everything, every bit of respect I had for this anime.
You know why? Right? Because he likes lollies. He literally just admitted it. You heard it here. I've been saying it. For a while.
I didn't even know.
Admitted it.
Okay. Now
you didn't know. You don't know what a lolly is. A lolly is a female, a small female. Now, normally, regular lollies are between the ages of 6 and 12. However, there are grown women who are smaller stature, and they're called lollies as well. We don't know which one he likes, but when he just found out one of them was a dude.
Okay. That was the best. I'm sorry. You find out, I'm pretty sure, in episode 6, by the way. The reason that you know is because they don't hide it. They basically they have like a thing, an episode where the whole theme is that there's a glitch in the system. They're like apps or whatever, and the trap character is like, oh, my dick is gone. Now I have a vagina. How am I gonna live as a girl? And you're like, oh, okay, well that's pretty on the nose.
Just got it on out there. Yeah.
No, he's like, my thing is gone. How am I gonna live as a girl? It's like they don't fucking hide it. They just don't say it until you get to episode 6. And Josh hasn't watched episode 6, so he doesn't know until now. So
probably would have broke his little heart too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it was a pretty good episode though. Like, it was like the fucking, like the way that it starts out is like they're running around like everything's code red, and like he's like, oh, my thing is gone, and the fucking like blonde headed chick, she's like, I've got drills for hands, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? That one specific spot got me, because she just like comes out of nowhere and she's like, my hands are drills. It's like some really cartoony shit. I feel like if they had taken this concept, and if it wasn't like, oh, this is for promotional stuff, they could have fleshed it out and made it like an actual pretty good comedy series. I feel like
it really did have a good premise behind it, and if it wasn't for the short episodes and not really having that much content, I mean, it was 7 minutes long. You can't expect the world out of it.
No,
it could have been really good, but
yeah, I agree.
That one just surprised me. I won't even lie, but. Before the podcast, Troy was talking about he had watched. I'm trying to do a subject change, and I done forgot the name of it.
Thinking about lollies too much is what you're doing.
Hey, there's Troy. There's Troy. He's over there creeping.
I didn't know that like y'all had like a recap session, like at the beginning. Like you're like, we were talking about this last week, and I'm like, okay, I'll shut up.
It's all good. It's all good, man. You can jump in whenever you want. No big deal.
Then y'all started talking about lollies, and like, my name is not Troy, it's John Jacobs.
Jingleheimer Smith.
Yeah, anyway. Okay.
And it was initial D.
Yeah. I give up. Go ahead.
No, man, Josh, you got the show.
You started.
Let's roll. Let's roll with it.
He was talking about Initial D and how it was created in Chinese format, I think. I've lost my complete train of thought, so I'm going to have a refresher.
Initial D, for anyone not in the know, is a Japanese manga, and it actually spawned a few video games throughout the years. It's very popular. The long and the short of the story is, it's a racing manga with this kid who's like this expert racer or something like that. I really didn't read the manga that much. Anyway, apparently Hong Kong got a hold of it, and they decided they were going to make their own live action. Great racing, really good effects on that part. Like apparently they got a lot of major stunt teams, like stunt racing teams, to do the practical shots. I mean, there was very little CGI in it at all for the racing. It's one of those. It's set in Japan. It is Hong Kong, so I think it may be Cantonese. I'm not sure, but I mean, it's a Hong Kong film, so it's like literally like watching a show that's in Spanish about your hometown. Everything looks the exact same, but nobody's talking the way they should.
Providing your hometown isn't like Mexico.
Yeah. So it's one of those like watching something in your hometown and then it's in another language because everything's in Japanese and I know a little bit of Japanese, but everybody's speaking I think Cantonese. So it's one of those I was like, wait, what? Huh?
Which
like they do countdowns, but it's in Cantonese, and I'm like, no, that's not how you say one. Stop it, stop. Like,
yeah, it's like when I was watching Sirius the Jaeger, and they have a guy who's supposed to be Irish, and he's speaking like very fluent Japanese. I'm like, he has no accent, so it kind of threw me off. Pulled my immersion out a little bit. Kind of want the English version now, so I can hear somebody actually Irish do it.
It's like if you ever watch an Asian show, like or a Japanese or Chinese movie, and they bring in an American, and you're like, God, that guy's talking weird.
Hello, how are you?
Well, it's one of those. You are here because we need you. We are American. We are the greatest fighting for. Like I'm kind of paraphrasing, but at the same time, it's the exact same. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I guarantee, like any Japanese watching like an American film. With like,
I was literally going to say that.
Yeah, they're like, oh my God,
this
that is so
movie
slow.
with Jackie Chan and a prominent white actor. I can't think of his name, but there's this scene. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. So this whole Japanese army, they're on their horses. They're all surrounding like the princess, put in this carriage, and so the white guy, he's like, stop, she needs to be protected. And Jackie Chan comes riding up on the horse and he's like, I will save a princess. Okay, does not take you out of the immersion because you know how Jackie Chan sounds, okay? Yeah. But then this other Asian dude shows up and he's like, well, tally ho, I think we definitely need to save the princess. Come on. All the Asian people in that movie have perfect English accents. Except for Jackie Chan. Why would you do that? You could have had them speak in their own native language, put subtitles in. You could have had them attempt to speak English.
Yeah, but it's like
have them English dubbed and have Jackie Chan have his own voice. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Jackie Chan. You expect to hear Jackie Chan.
Look, he does his own. He does his own stunts. He does his own vocals. But they couldn't let all the other Asian people just
try to do their own stuff. Yeah, sure.
Like I'm just saying, like let them try.
See, there's an old Hollywood rumor that way back in the day in the '80s, Schwarzenegger hired a voice coach, and apparently he got to the point where his accent was gone. He actually sounded like he was from Ohio. But anytime he screen tested anything, people freaked out because that wasn't Schwarzenegger. So it could be that if you watch Jackie Chan and then the voice coming out of him is, well, hello, how are you? Yes, we need to go over and defend the castle. Like, you just wouldn't like it. You'd be like, what? No, Jackie. Talk about that.
I'm saying that's literally the problem they did with every other. I'm saying there was a whole army. They brought up all the generals. They had all of them talking, and all of them spoke perfect English in Japan. It wasn't Japan. It was in China. But I'm just like, I'm confused as to why they chose to have everyone else but Jackie Chan, that was Asian, speak perfect English.
Okay, on the opposite side of this is, have y'all ever watched the Ip Man series with Donnie Yen?
I have.
Yes. So there's the first one where he fights the boxer.
Yes.
And he does the whole, I will fight any weak-willed yellow man that wants to come at me. And then you go, I think it's Ip Man 3, where he fights Mike Tyson.
Yep.
Mike Tyson?
I'm not kidding you. No, I'm not like, he had a real name, but everybody gets Mike Tyson.
Those fights were nice.
Tattoo and all. And didn't dub him over. I tell you what, man, I'm going to mess you up so bad. Oh, baby. Oh, goodness. Now, the thing is he's fighting Donnie Yen, who is a known perfect martial artist. Apparently, he's mimetic to where if he sees a move, he can almost do it perfectly. Like the moment he sees it. And I mean, it was a good thing because Mike Tyson, he still got it, man. Like he shucked in on Ip Man, like in that fight. It was perfect. But it's still one of those, any other English person in that had a voice like this. And then you have Mike Tyson. It's just the whole, you want to see Mike Tyson. You want to hear Mike Tyson. You want to hear Jackie Chan.
I get it. Like I said, I'm cool with Jackie Chan sounding the way he sounded. My issue was with the rest of the Asian cast sounding like they were from, I don't know, Virginia. Like it just felt weird.
Not gonna dig on that.
Anime podcast, everybody.
Well, yeah.
Well, anime entertainment.
I know.
I know. But I'm gonna take it back because a lot of series have reached their 6th episode, where most of them are gonna either have their turning event or be building up into them. We had a couple of risky episodes. Now I'm starting to talk like Mike Tyson. Anyways, we had a couple of risky episodes, like in Yunna and the Haunted Hot Springs.
Y'all want to talk about that? Because I haven't seen that, and you and Michael have seen it.
Oh, I thought you were watching it. But
no, I haven't seen up to episode 6. I've seen up to like episode 2 or 3, and
for anybody listening, I've seen none of these shows, so
I can give you a brief summary over everything he's probably about to bring up, not to try to like jump in front of him. So this is towards the mid-season, and most of the shows are forming their plots to where they're going to try to finish them out. I would say, like the show he just brought up, the
Yunna and the Haunted Hot Spring.
Yes, that one is it's doing really well. The only thing is it didn't try to pull a plot in on this episode. It tried to at the very end, but so far it's been good enough that it doesn't have to feel forced. Unlike Masters of Ragnarok, which has been complete, total garbage until this episode.
Please tell me
they had the audacity to do a Hot Springs episode after literally nothing happens for the first 5 episodes.
You want to break it down to Troy what this hot mess is about?
It better be a He-Man.
Masters of Ragnarok.
I'm not kidding you.
This Masters of Ragnarok.
That thing should have.
This is what happens. Okay, so this guy apparently has been, and this is not a spoiler. Okay, this guy has apparently been in another world that's like far back in time, where these special warriors have powers. That's the best way to put it, right?
Like Eternia.
His goal is to take over the different clans and unite the country. That's the best way to put it, all right?
Oh, Skeletor. Okay, Skeletor. I got you.
But he is from the future, from a different world. He brought with him a smartphone that has that's solar charged, and that he uses that to conquer these other clans. All right.
That way Hasbro can't just immediately sue.
Now the premise sounds good, but here's the problem. Absolutely nothing happens. The very first episode, you see a little battle here and there, and then it goes into, I'm going to make you my sister. I'm going to make you my brother. That's how the clans do it. They don't explain it. They just go straight in like, you're going to be my sister. You're going to be my big sister. You're going to be my daughter. He just goes around naming people that way.
So yeah, he recruits female warriors by making them like different classes of his army or whatever, and he calls them like his sisters or his daughters, and then all of them want to fuck him, and it gets real fucking weird.
So, and it's all based on this whole clan thing, because the clans are based off of animals. So the whole brother sister thing is more of a showing of respect of where they would fit inside the family. But like I said, the biggest problem was nothing happened. They try to do this whole, here's the bad guy, let's defeat him, beat him in one episode, and it was how they did it was quite ridiculous, and it wasn't like funny ridiculous. Like, you saw it happen, you're like, wow, that was lazy. And then they're like, let's go on a Hot Springs episode. They go on a Hot Springs episode. That's not a spoiler, because every generic harem anime has a hot spring episode,
bathing,
right?
And hot spring bathing
had that
and
episode,
beach.
but I felt like that episode was a reset, because today's episode was really well formed. It had a story they were trying to build. They gave us actual character development. I know that's quite shocking since everything I just told you. but I'm liking where it's headed. As of right now, if I had to give it a rating, I would give it a solid 5 out of 10. And the 5 is because of this last episode. Yeah. I do not like the ending song at all. I don't know what it is. Whenever it comes on, I immediately close it out and move on. I can't stand that.
Oh, I know what you mean. I've tried to block it out of my memory.
Yeah, it was an immediate drop for me on that first episode. I couldn't help it. It just didn't sit right.
I got to episode like 2 or 3, and I'm like, what? When though?
So
when?
I can kind of speak on this. I have no idea what they were saying, but Highscore girl. I have no idea what they're saying because the episode has not been subbed yet. It probably won't be subbed until tomorrow.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
So I'm not going to spoil anything, but what I can say is they are really bringing it together in a way that these next few episodes are probably going to be like in the feels.
Oh man,
I'm so looking forward to this though, by the way, because I'm kind of expecting it.
Troy, by the way, Highscore girl, it's actually really interesting because it's basically takes place in the arcade boom in Japan in the early 90s. And they actually, because it's made by Bandai Namco, isn't that right? It's Bandai Namco.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So they have all these actual licenses to show all these games like Street Fighter 2 and a bunch of other, and they actually have real strategies that actually work in the game that they talk about. And this kid's obsessed with Street Fighter. And essentially the premise is he's like a loner and he's going to the arcade and he's kind of like, skipping school. And then this girl, this like rich girl starts going there and she starts showing him up. And he's like, fuck this girl, I'm going to crush her. And then they end up becoming friends. And then things progress from there. It's 3D animation and it's actually extremely well done. It's done in like a 2D style, but with 3D, and it takes like all advantage of all the, advantages 3D and then actually has like a 2D face more or less most of the time. But man, it is done really well. And the music, the intro song, so good. It's like chiptune. It's really great. I love it.
So you two definitely have something to look forward to in this next episode. All I can say is it's going to make you a little mad because you're going to wish it was next week. That's all I can say about that episode.
Man.
Like some other shows that are coming on where I'm like, I'm not waiting for the next episode to come out. I'm just ready for it to come out so that I can get to the next show that I actually want to watch. So,
well, one of them I'm actually looking forward to just because it's actually unfolding really well. How to Not Summon a Demon Lord. I think Willis is watching it, and I don't know if.
Yep.
I haven't seen it beyond what I've already seen. I'm just like I'm good. I'm sticking right now with all like the core stuff that I really like, and going back and watching other stuff.
Well, to where I actually explained one to Troy. Like this guy, he's a NEET in the modern day Japan. He just stays to himself. He only plays his game. He doesn't trust anybody. He ends up getting summoned to this other world by like a cat girl and an elf. I think she would be considered a cat girl.
Yeah, she's definitely a cat girl.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much the game world that he's been playing that he gets summoned into. So he's this OP character, like level 150, while all of them are level 30 or so. I mean, and he has this ring that actually reverses the enslavement spell back onto them. That's in the first episode.
He has a ring that reverses any magic used on him. It's a mirror ring. So if somebody uses an attack on him, it'll bounce off of him and go right back to them.
And that's the character in the game when he was playing, because he plays it like nonstop, and he's like the most unkillable person on the entire server. And then he gets summoned into the actual game world, like the version of that. So he keeps all of his abilities and his level, and he basically keeps like, everything. Except he becomes a character.
Sounds like oh man, Sword Art Online, but in reverse.
Kind of. I mean, Sword Art Online, he started with everybody else. He was just a beta tester beforehand, I think's what it was.
No.
You're beater. He was a beater.
No, yeah. You're missing what I'm saying. You said that like he goes into the. You say he went into the game world, but he had all his levels and stuff like that, so he was rocking it out.
Yeah.
So in Sword Art Online, when he goes back into the real world, he still has muscle synapses that are firing as if he were like a level 99 sword art master. So like they do
yeah.
they do the scene where like him and his sister are sitting there hanging out.
And they reference that in the newest Sword Art Online movie as well. If you haven't seen it, it's really long, but it's good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a new movie. It's really good. It's visually stunning in my opinion. But they actually go on that a little bit. But it's really good, but it's really really long. Like I think it's 2 hours or something like that. Maybe 3. I can't remember. It was long. I know I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie, and then I seen how long it was. I'm like,
Lord,
there goes my day.
Guess I ain't watched anything else.
It was light outside, and then it was dark.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie or the series at all.
Man, Sword Art Online is really good. Like they do, everything is like kind of sword based, and then they do one season where they go into a game that's gun based, and it's weird.
It's Gun Gale, yeah.
There's a spin-off series called like Gun Gale something.
Gale. Yeah, it's a spin-off series of that game that they were playing that he was talking about. I actually like the Sword Art Online series, but
it was weird. Like that season actually for what it was, because the entire season was essentially a murder mystery.
Yeah.
Which they did it perfectly. It was one of those when they finally did like the big twist ending at the end of the season. I was like, what? What? No.
I think the reason a lot of people didn't like that season or that series in general is because it didn't give them exactly what they wanted. Because they tried to be different, but they also try to stay too mainstream, and that it kind of hurt them. But in all, I like the decisions that they made. I still rewatch it. It has really, I'll tell you, that show has really good rewatchability if you like it. If you like it, you can go back in and
it really does. It. Just so here's the thing, they kind of keep the same characters. Like the first episode where they reveal, like, the first episode is they all get into this game. And then the big bad guy's like, haha, let me show you. You're now your real selves. And then it's like this guy and this girl. And then suddenly there's a flash and it's just two guys looking at each other like, you said you were a woman. He goes, catfish. What? The thing is, if you watch it, they keep those characters there. Like, I mean, it's an anime.
Yeah. But yeah.
But I mean,
they keep the characters. They keep the situation of dread always there. Even though they try to make the situation better, that feeling of dread is always
especially
there.
With the whole,
if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Yeah, like the
concept, they've done it before, but I like that they kept that feeling of dread always.
Well, that's your standard sci-fi trope. If you go into his mind, if you die in the mind, you die here. If you in the cell, if you die in his dream, you die in the real world.
Right, the Matrix.
Seriously, start naming all sci-fi episodes. I can almost guarantee you I can name the episode.
And that's one thing I liked about it is they knew how to play the setting right. Because like I've complained about somewhat last week is there's a lot of anime out there that say, hey, we're going to be this type of anime. And that's mostly what they ignore. They do not handle that. It'd be a battle. This is a battle anime. And most of it's just walking around, chilling, and talking.
Sword Art Online was a kind of fantasy anime. But at the same time, it was this whole... At the end of the day, you're like, yeah, they may die suddenly because they may not be getting fed in the real world.
So
and stuff like that. Like, it was one of those, like, and especially, like, they had not the innkeeper, the inventory guy, the guy that was selling inventory to him. Like, there's one where he laments, he goes, I just hope I can get to see my wife again. And then you realize there are real people that are watching these, like, seriously, this guy probably logged on and was like, man, I've been waiting for this game. Like, wow. Like, man, I've been waiting for this game for so long, and then he's stuck there for the next 2 years.
Well, and to him, he doesn't know how long he's going to be stuck there. He also doesn't know how long the passage of time is, because game time is different than real time.
Yeah, and the other thing is thought processes.
You know that game time is different than real time.
Well, I mean, it's thought processes too. I mean, everybody says you actually dream within like the last 5 minutes of you waking up or something like that. So it's one of those like seriously, who knows? You could be living in there for 17 years and wake up and it's 2 months later. Like, I can't remember what the actual takeaway of it was.
I do recommend that movie if you like that series. If you like the series, definitely watch the movie. It's long, but it's a good movie. Sorry, Josh, I didn't mean to.
Robert,
over like that.
It's fun. You're kicking in a Sword Art Online. I wasn't a big fan of it because I guess I'm one of those people that I didn't get exactly what I wanted.
It's all right.
But
What were you wanting out of that wasn't in there? There's a little romance. There was a friendship with the.
He
dude with
was
the
wanting
bandana.
half of the main cast to probably die, and then them to dwell on it for like 9 episodes.
hey, no, that ain't what I wanted.
No, the thing is, I feel like they got into survival mode pretty quick. Where if one of them died, they're like, "All right, this sucks, but we gotta keep living."
We've got
Like-
to stick together.
Yeah.
But then taking into another anime that I know Robert's been watching with me, Happy Sugar Life, and it's dark as hell turn this week.
Okay, I'm gonna need to bring. Okay, so Michael, we already know, and I don't have any grievances against how you feel about it. We've already spoke our piece. I'm just gonna get Troy up to speed on what the hell we're talking about because context matters. So, Happy Sugar Life is basically like kind of a horror / thriller anime, and basically like the initial premise ends up becoming really like honestly the funny thing is the initial thing that I almost dropped it on is like the least offensive thing in the entire thing because it gets way more fucked up. Oh my god. So it starts off as basically like there's like a I think she's like 16 or something, like a really pretty, popular with all the boys girl, pink hair, always has a smile on her face. On the surface she's completely like a model citizen, right? But she basically lives this double life where she has, from the first episode, you assume that she's kidnapped a child. And not only that, is that she is in love with this child. And the child is probably, I would say, maybe like 6 or 7 years old.
It told her age once. I think it was around, it was whenever it was going through the arc of the person that was looking for her. I don't know how deep in spoilers I can get on this.
Well,
I think it was about, she was about 6 whenever she came up missing, and it was a couple years later, so I think she's like 10 or 11.
Well, still, the point is she's a young child. I mean, that's all you need to know about that. But essentially, the whole thing revolves around her keeping this whole thing a secret, doing everything that she can to make sure that, because basically you kind of get the idea that she was abused and that everybody in her life is either trying to get something out of her or is like, a really bitter piece of shit person, or she was abused. So the one little thing that she's ever had any kind of joy out of is this innocent child who treated her, with caring, and because it's a child and she's, innocent and all that. And she takes this in her fucked up head as, I love this child like she would love like a lover. So she essentially,
some of us see it as lovers, others see it as like a parent-child relationship on this one, because there is nothing that actually points toward her romantically loving.
Well, that's not true, because she actually specifically turns down a lot of boys that and the thing is, it is revealed later, and this isn't really a spoiler because in the manga it's like literally the first page where she reveals that she used to be basically the kind of girl that slept around with everybody. Like she would go from guy to guy 2 or 3 days at a time, and she'd just sleep around because that's the only way that she could get any kind of happiness.
What was her address again?
Huh?
What was her address?
Well, I don't think she's someone you want to get tied up with, Troy, because every character in this
anime, you don't know my life.
Well, no, every character in this, I'm saying this part, every character in this show is fucked up in one version or another. That is all it comes down to.
Hey, that's the best ones. That is the best ones, Josh.
Either fucked up or to be fucked up. You don't know,
buddy. Like, sign me up. Y'all had me at the first.
No. I'm telling you,
he'll see an example of it here.
Have y'all tried the dating scene around here?
But basically, like like I said, she's working multiple jobs, and she keeps saying like, I've got to build a life for her. I've got to make money so we can like live our life together. So you don't know what she's planning. She keeps this child locked up, and the kid is completely oblivious. She's like, "Oh, I love you, ha, kisses, ha ha." And,
I mean, the kid shows her more of a relationship of what a child would show their mother,
or like a big sister.
Yeah.
But she does not see it that way. The child is obviously too young to understand what the hell's going on. She's like, yeah, I love you, of course. You're my everything, because she doesn't remember anything before. Like she basically has amnesia, and you kind of get little bits and pieces of that later. But yeah, pretty much every character, like it's kind of like a character study on like how there's so many fucked up people in the world, and they're just like hiding in plain sight. Because everybody who is fucked up in this, whenever they're going about like working or their daily life, they always switch on and switch off, like on it at an instant, like on a dime. It's like they're all basically like serial killer level adjusted to the regular world, and they have like this alternate life that they live. And
have you ever seen Future Diary? Troy?
Me, no.
Alright, well, there goes my example, but what I'm aiming to say...
It sounds like a good psychological anime. I've watched them before. Like, back in the 90s, it was Perfect Blue, which was a really good psychological thriller.
That was messed up.
Perfect. Man, it was like just like yikes. Like
it gets
y'all know
heavy,
the newer animes. I still know. I know some of the older ones. So
yeah, I'm telling you though, if you're into like honestly, I'm really into thrillers. Like one of my favorite movies is Phone Booth, because that is like a fucking great thriller. Like I don't give a shit what anybody says, but like it basically.
I understand where you're coming from.
It keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it keeps you disturbed all the time. Like I was squirming in my seat. I'm like, no.
Oh, have you seen Perfect Blue?
I haven't. No.
That's.
I don't know if he's ready for Perfect Blue.
Man, like if you want to be like squirming on the edge of your seat, dude, that is. Like
I mean,
there are scenes where you're like, is this real or is she imagining? The premise is it's a pop star that is super famous, but she has this but she's not neurotic, but she has it's essentially mental illness, to where she's like, nobody loves me, stuff like that. And then she starts getting fan letters from a specific one that's calling her like a whore and a slut. And then she starts seeing a version of herself following her around. And she doesn't know what's going on. Like it's, I can't go any more into that without spoiling like huge big things. About 2 hours long. Like I said, it's Perfect Blue. It was in the 90s.
I've already added it to my list while you're talking.
Yeah, it is. Like, God, it's good. It's one of those like, because back then, like the 90s was one of those like anime was coming out like, I gotta get my hands on anything I can. Come on, like going to disc jockey.
Since you've seen some of the older stuff, did you ever watch the original? Well, did you ever try to go back and watch now, anyways? Devilman Crybaby.
The original, not the remake.
Oh, Devilman Cry.
Yeah.
No, no, I did not.
Not Devilman Cry. Devilman Crybaby.
Well, I don't think it was called Devil. I think it was just called
Devilman.
No, it was originally it was called Devilman, and then they had Devilman versus something else. I never could find those. Like I said, you got to realize in the 90s it was one of those like you had to go with whatever FYE had.
Yeah, okay.
And that was
they probably wouldn't have that then.
Yeah, Devilman was one that they really didn't have. Perfect Blue is one of those kind of risky choices they had.
Probably in the adult section.
Well, no, it was still in the anime section, but it was one of those like there was a lot of stuff that they didn't really do. Like it was a lot of like because at the time you also got to look at it, dude. Even in today's society, anytime you watch a cartoon or an anime, like what cartoons? What?
You better watch out. We get in that conversation.
No, that's avoided at this podcast.
You sitting here watching babies. No, I understand what you're saying. The problem is
there's a person in here that holds weird views about it, so that's why we don't talk about it.
Here's the thing: the Japanese kind of figured it out that it's cheaper to do an animation than to like get live actors and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to do the animation and just get people in the sound booth. That's why if you really look at it, that's why they have a ton of movies that are psychological thrillers, crime novels, crime dramas. You know, for every fantasy movie out there, there's a crime drama that they've done. So
and the thing is, like, funnily enough, I was listening to a podcast it's the Sardonicast. It's a 3 like movie. I hear an echo somewhere. Sorry. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's three movie like review YouTubers, and they're talking about this animated film from like the 1970s from like France or something. I forget exactly, but they're like, man, I can't believe people don't use animation. You know, it's underutilized for like really serious adult stuff. I'm like, bro, anime. Like, where have you been? Have you seen stuff like Akira? Have you seen all of this other shit we're watching? Like, it's like Happy Sugar Life is not for kids. Oh my
god!
There
are animators out in America that have done kind of adult themed stuff.
Right.
Have you ever watched Wizards? That's an American animation where literally the big thing is it's this wizard going to fight another wizard. I'm going to spoil it because it was an 8. I don't care. I'm going to spoil it.
Go ahead.
So it's a wizard going to fight another evil wizard, and like it's this weird quest, but it's in like this weird kind of out of time place. Like they have weird like technology and stuff like that. So the good wizard finally sees the evil wizard, and then the good wizard, I kid you not, pulls out a Luger and pops 3 caps in the evil wizard's ass. Dude, seriously, if you can, look up Wizards Final Fight or something like that. It'll pull it up almost instantly. And he goes, listen here, you son of a bitch, and bam, bam, bam. And that's it. That's the move. That's the end of the movie.
Like Indiana Jones style?
Yeah. But the thing is, there was this weird nudity. There was this kind of weird elf. Who did Five Goes West? Or the Five movie, American Tail.
Right, yeah, I got you.
Whatever anime style that or animation style that was the style they were going through. I'm blanking on who did them. I want to say Bluth, but I don't want to like.
I forget exactly. I know what you're saying,
but it's that animation style. But man, it's like it was weird.
Yeah,
but I'm going to take and bring it over to another one that the plot's actually kind of developing on, even though I'm not quite sure if I'm understanding it fully. Grand Blue, Willis.
Yeah, hilarious. Hey, Troy, I think you would love Grand Blue. It is hilarious.
Is that the one that you and Josh were talking about where the first episode you're like, I hate this. This is awful. And then something happened, you're like, never mind, this is
no.
No.
Blue,
Okay.
From like the moment you go for Grand Blue, you're like, okay, I see where this is going. It's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be a hilarious ride.
You're going to see a scene from it later. All I'm going to say is they have a very unique way of playing rock, paper, scissors. It's about a group of dive team members in which this week, I think, is the first time we've actually seen them dive.
Yeah, well, no. Technically, he dived a few episodes back, but if you mean the group diving together, then yeah.
I'll probably wait until the images come up to go any farther in detail about it, just because I want to.
But essentially, Troy, the reason why I think you would like it,
like scuba dive,
yeah, like scuba diving. So
I was like,
the reason why I think you would like it is not because it's a like a college type scenario, but they do a whole lot of drinking and it's crazy, and the humor though, that's why I think you would like it, is the humor.
But,
so is drinking the first thing you think of when you think of me?
No. But if you see it, you will know why. I mean, like, I have saved so many gifts from things I've seen there that I want to show, but it's like half of them will spoil crap. But like the one that I sent Josh yesterday, like if you understand what's going on,
hand signals.
The hand signals, like he's learning the signals. like once you figure out what's actually going on, it kills it. Like, it's hilarious.
But I've got 2 images from that show that will completely sum it up, I guess the best way to put it. I think I'm going to go ahead and start into the I Can Explain, that way he can see these images.
Well, actually, there were a couple of more anime I wanted to talk about.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Michael, I don't know if you're up to date on Planet With.
Yep.
But I mean, what even? I mean,
I understand.
No. I understand it, but I'm not. It just.
I'm with it step by step. I get it, and that last episode sold me. I am with it. I was not with it from like the first few episodes, but the last one, I'm with it.
I don't know. Like, I feel like the way that they presented it, I just don't care about the characters. I care about like the main character. Everybody else that's tertiary.
Yeah, I don't think you're really supposed to care about those characters the way they're pushing the story. The only reason you needed to quote unquote care about the characters is because they were related to the dragon. But outside of that, the main character is the actual story. The main character, the girl in the maid uniform, and the cat dude.
Yeah, I'm still just like, I mean, I understand what is happening now because they explain it pretty frankly, but I don't know. Like, I don't even understand where they're going to be going from here necessarily. I mean,
that's what I like about it is because I'm used to this formulaic. We got to do this to get to this to do this. Now we got to beat the bad guy. It's mid-season, so now we need a break episode, and then we come back, and now we find out the bad guy wasn't actually that bad guy. It was somebody else.
Right. I'm not
saying the episode's just going after that. At this point, I don't know where they're going to go with it.
I mean, I'll probably still watch it, but like I'm not super into it. Like it isn't like say Fooly Cooly where it's just like we're in for the ride. It doesn't take itself seriously. There's some elements in here that takes itself a little bit too seriously, I feel, for like the way that things are presented. Like giant fucking walking cat spaceships and shit. Like,
well, you weren't supposed to take that part serious. The part that you were supposed to take serious was the fact that there were two separate factions at war with each other. Well, not at war with each other, but going against each other in the way that they feel like the universe should handle themselves. That's what that was really about. It wasn't about the giant cat.
I get it, but
joke.
Right. I mean, I get the joke, but the joke is like front and center because it's like there's a joke and then it just kind of it's part of the universe now, and then it kind of gets a little stale, and that it doesn't really. It's like I don't know. Like
they only use that prop like maybe 3 times.
But I mean,
he pops in. They show him again the next episode for a couple of seconds when they're standing on his head, and then they show him more.
But then the dog, the opposite part of the faction, the dog guy is like floating above Earth in his mech, standing on top of a giant version of himself, which is also a spaceship.
Right. So now you know the two deciding factions. One is they call the ceiling faction, and there's the other one. And as you could tell, they're probably one's all dogs and one's all cats.
Right. I don't know. Like, I mean, like I said, I understand what's happening. I don't really feel invested very much. Is all I'm saying.
Well, that's all right.
Well, Fooly Cooly, it definitely technically had a story, but
yeah, I mean, there was a giant iron that landed on the world. But if you really look at it, it was about an alien race completely eradicating the host life on a planet so they can invade.
Like, and metaphorically speaking, it was about puberty and growing up and getting to like girls and shit like that.
A lot of boners.
I don't care what y'all say. That show is straight up about LSD. If you jump in like I did, and like I said a couple episodes back, my woman is the one that actually watched it, and I kind of got tied into it. I don't understand what's going on with it. I've got to go back through and watch from episode 1.
You're not supposed to necessarily understand. You're supposed to strap in and be like, this is a visual ride. And then later you can go back in and be like, okay, let me dig through this and find the meaning. And same thing with Fully Coolly Progressive, the second season, which I watched all of.
Yeah, I did watch that one.
Dude, I think it's either the 4th or the 5th episode. They totally changed the art style. I think they did it in the first one, didn't they? They had like an episode where the art style totally changed or something like that.
Yeah, they did kind of like this Andy Warhol kind of kind of stuff.
They did something similar to that in this one, and honestly, like to me, visually, it's like a work of art. Like it's so they went super ham, like they went super ham on that episode just because they're like, we want to make this look as interesting and as crazy and as much. It's like Sakuga all the way through the whole fucking thing. It's crazy. I love it. And then he goes back to the regular art style after that. But man, it's great.
I mean, the original art style for the original was good.
No.
I mean, get off track, but it was one of those like where they had like the sword fight scene, or excuse me, the guitar fight scenes. Like they looked very well scripted. Like it was cheesy, but at the same time, I really liked the style.
Well, right. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like the beginning of that episode of Progressive is literally like a moving. It's not figuratively. It's literally a moving oil painting, and it's like really gorgeous. and it's a different art style that I feel like the way that they did that episode, they really wanted to go full on aesthetic all the way through, non-compromised, just really good looking. So getting off of that, the only other thing that I have, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I heard about it and then I forgot about it because I forgot the name, and then I heard about it again today and watched the first episode. But Review Starlight, you guys know anything about that?
Sounds
Airing right now. So essentially, in summation, it's about girls in high school, and they're in like a theater, like performing arts club, like a dance performing arts club. You know, they do ballet, they basically put on like a big show at the end of the year as kind of like their big thing. And it's basically, you know, regular slice of life stuff for a while, and then essentially at the end of the first episode, you basically the main character girl, she accidentally stumbles upon like basically one of her former friends from her childhood is back as the mysterious transfer student, as happens in all these fucking animes. But she basically goes and finds a elevator that she didn't realize was in the school, and it takes her down to a giant stage where her former friend and one of the other classmates are fighting basically to the death, like in a super over the top, fully stereotypical anime style fight with swords and shit. And they're being watched and judged by a telekinetic giraffe who's talking to them. It gets really fucking weird, but it's got my attention. It's interesting.
You're gonna have to send me the name of this anime.
I just looked it up. I know which one he's talking about.
Review Starlight. Revue Starlight.
You ought to know my memory by now, man. You're gonna have to send it to me
right,
on Facebook or something.
I remembered why this was on my drop list, because when I went on my anime list, I saw not only was it a all female cast, but it had 9 main characters.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm just saying it looks like it's not just gonna be like your standard fare, but you know, we all know how your stance is on all female cast, so whatever.
Yeah, and having 9 main characters.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'll agree to a certain extent on the main characters part, but at the same time, there are a couple of animes that I liked with a lot of main characters.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Do they really have a lot of main characters?
Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, Krillin.
That's 3.
Are all of these main in this series?
Is Krillin really a main character?
Krillin has been. Well, okay, if you're talking about Z, yes.
I'm talking about. I mean, even Dragon Ball. After the martial arts tournament, he becomes a major side character with Tien and Yamcha.
Okay.
So, man, I need to get a soundboard with like a bell ringing for the beginning of a match.
Is he really a main character?
If you're talking about that versus, say, something like My Hero Academia, for example, like so the whole thing about you saying, oh, they had like an episode dedicated to this character or that character. What happened in Super? What did they do there?
They had one episode dedicated to Krillin, and it was at the end towards the World Tournament arc, the survival arc. They had one episode dedicated to Krillin. One.
And Tien and Master Roshi.
Hashtag
one
trigger.
episode for each of them out of 170 episodes.
Right.
And they didn't have any of those in Dragon Ball Z leading into Super.
Right.
So how are they main characters is my question. Is there a
rank? So, by the way, Troy.
But in Hero Aka, those other people aren't necessarily main characters. They're all.
But they actually have parts in episodes. That's the difference.
Okay. All right. Whatever. Continue.
I was aiming to say this is why some of the topics are blacklisted in it.
like Berserk 2016. We'll just blacklist that for right now.
Yeah, or anime versus cartoon, and
we'll be here all day. Let's just keep on going.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the I Can Explain. The first one's actually going to be from Grand Blue.
Do you wanna explain the I Can Explain to?
No, you can explain later.
Well,
he has enough time to explain, but he doesn't have enough time to explain.
Well, Troy, I can explain as basically if someone walked in and they saw your computer screen paused or they were looking over your shoulder while you were watching anime, back whenever you were.
Kind of like a no context sort of thing. Like, hold on.
You have to like explain your way out of the hole of being stuck with somebody seeing you seeing this.
Yeah, like when you've been watching an action show all day and then finally get to the sex scene and then your parents are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. That's what it is. Who wants to tackle this one? Because I can't. I've not seen the show.
This one's from Grand Blue. It's pretty much the cornerstone of everything we were talking about. It's
Look, guys, I want to point out, I don't know how they get pictures of me hanging out at the bars. They need to stop. I'm not kidding you. They need to stop.
So you need to watch this one. I'm telling you, it's hilarious.
So, Willis, did you want?
No, you can go for this one if you have another one.
Yeah, I've got another one. But okay, so she had. I don't know if that's a spoiler. She's been hanging out with the group
Okay.
for a little bit now, and they're having a party now just because she's been hanging out so much with them. And the way they always party is they get drunk and they play rock, paper, scissors naked. All it is a welcome party.
Yeah, y'all have never had these parties? These are common. Y'all never done this before?
It is very common through this anime, especially during a beauty pageant.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm not saying anything wrong here. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Alright. This one is from another anime. I cannot. Sunahara So no Karirin-san. I can't pronounce it and I can't remember the English name. I don't know if any of y'all are actually watching this other than.
No. Not.
I'm watching it, but I haven't seen this particular one, so.
I don't know where we're gonna go with this. Josh, I guess you got this again.
Well, she's a new character that has showed up that I can't say anything much about, and she adores. I forgot his name.
Just say little man.
Yeah,
Just say
she
little man.
adores the little man that actually looks like a female to every character for some reason, even though you can tell it's a male. And she's been playing video games with him. Another character enters the scene, and just out of the cutesy and trying to embarrass him, she says that she wants to keep the little guy and take him home as a pet. I couldn't
All
say
right.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there another one?
Alright,
hold on.
Willis.
Hold on. Let me try to explain this one. Since I know
Okay.
about it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The man holding a banana while naked. So this man is sad about his life, so he's trying to at least make.
Oh, I remember this scene.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I literally just remember this scene.
Or he's just a lonely redditor trying to show the scale of something. We all know what he's trying to show the scale.
All right. So this guy is a college professor, and he's giving his class a test which essentially everyone in the classroom is cheating on. All right. They're doing a horrible job at cheating on it. So he ends up finding out that they're cheating, and then he finds out that they also had really bad scores. So he's going to help them out by giving them German questions. And one of the questions he gives is a man holding a banana while naked.
That's
I
all
know
the
it doesn't
context
look like
he
a
gives.
question, but that's the only context he gives. And their facial reactions over each question get more and more hilarious. But I remember that scene. It's like, it took me a moment. I'm sitting there like, a man holding a banana. Oh, and it's like, yeah, it's hilarious. I really recommend this anime for just the humor portion. Everything else is great, but the humor in this is next level.
I'll definitely admit a lot of them that actually keep toward the humor part of it, like Grand Blue. Usually their humor either dries out to me, like Arikawa Under the Bridge, which I know is one of the highly praised ones. But this one actually holds your attention because you don't expect a single word that comes out of any of their mouth.
And you seeing the animation change drastically whenever something happens is well worth it because you don't know what character is going to change, what face they're going to make, and it's not like a simple change of face. Like their face dramatically changes. In fact, their whole body can end up changing depending on the scenario. It's funny.
All right, this one's from Konosuba. I'm
What do
going to
y'all
give it to
watch?
Robert.
I'm trying to remember specifically when this was.
This involves darkness.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got it. This is the succubus episode. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
there. Yeah.
No, you would like this one too, Troy. You would like this
Oh,
anime.
Konosuba.
It's a parody anime,
Oh
but
my
they
God.
do it right.
It's so great. But it's okay. So essentially, there's a big long wind up to this whole thing. So the guy there. I'm not going to go into why he's in the world or whatever. It's basically kind of like a parody of stuff like, Sword Art Online. He's in another world, blah, blah, blah. So he's in a party with 3 girls. They're all basically, picture like the most useless RPG, like basically like a really, really shitty D&D group that doesn't know how to fucking use anything. And they suck and they'd have bad rolls. That's essentially what they're pretty much like. So he basically ends up being told by one of the guys around town that there's a place where these succubuses can actually literally make your dreams come true. And he like goes and he like gets their services or whatever. And they basically say, okay, tonight, make sure that you go to sleep and we're going to basically like give you your dream. And he basically wakes up early and thinks that he's in the dream. And then Darkness, she's like the tank character basically. And her whole thing is that she's a tank, but she's a masochist. So she really super gets off by getting hit and like being the person who actually gets all of the damage and shit. Like she's really turned on by it. That's the only reason she joins their squad is because she's like, you guys are incompetent. You need somebody to soak up your damage. I'm your girl. So she goes in to like take a bath and he's in there and she's like, oh shit, you're here. And he's like, oh, and he basically he starts talking as if like she's, what his dream is going to be about. He's like, oh, I guess you'll do. And he starts like talking totally different than what he would otherwise. And some really
Derogatory statements.
Some really, it's like he starts like talking shit to her and she gets like all turned on and she's like, oh, why are you talking shit to me? Keep saying it, please.
I think he's digging himself a little bit deeper in a hole if it was someone actually.
I mean, there's not really any better context in it. I mean, that's literally it. Like, you couldn't dig a farther hole in terms of this. This is like the worst example of an episode in the entire series to walk in on.
I don't
Did
know
you watch
about
the
that
OVA?
one.
Did you watch the OVA?
I haven't seen the OVA. I said the series. So within the context of the series, I'm gonna watch the OVAs eventually. But
you could use almost every scene from that first OVA as an example
you
on
can.
this.
All right, I got you. Okay, so that's all I can explain. That's literally what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, Willis.
Oh Jesus.
Okay. So this is what happened. All right. So these guys did some bad things. All right.
I bet they did.
They wanted to see some action while they were at this high school that just went co-ed. All
We're
right.
seeing it right now.
And they ended up getting caught and put into prison while they're in school. So they can't talk to the general population because they're in prison. It's like 4 guys. It's hilarious. I don't care what anybody says. The show is hilarious.
Such and such prison school or something like that. I know they're
Yeah, it's prison school. So these 2 guys apparently did something that's beyond what they're supposed to be doing.
I'd say they are.
But the woman that's squatting over the dude's face, she does a whole lot of squats. See, this scene isn't even the worst one. If he just waited a few seconds, all right, it would have been way worse because it shows her leg like sweat and it's like just slopping everywhere.
Yeah.
So it gets worse, but it's even funnier when you see that happen, when you see things go down. but that's essentially she's punishing them for being
Oh, it
bad.
sounds really bad. A lot of female cosplayers are getting into big issues with cosplaying this character because there's this whole you're glorifying women and you're making them sexy and stuff like that. Oh, it's Tracer in a bikini, or it's Ray from Neon Genesis Evangelion in a skimpy outfit, stuff like that. Problem is, anybody that cosplays, immediately you get those kind of like nice guys. They're like, why can't they just play the character right? And they're like, have you even watched the anime? This is exactly how she dresses. Like,
yeah, and Prison School is exactly as it's presented.
So it sounds really bad. The entire reason I know about it is I like cosplayers, male and female. Like I like the idea, I like the talent, I like the enormous links they go through. So anytime they kind of come under fire, I've got to look at like, okay, well, let's see if they're staying true to character. And the cosplayers that cosplay her are staying 100% true to character. So I don't,
Well, if you like that, watch the anime. It's hilarious, especially the shower scene. All right, the shower scene is hilarious because it catches you off guard. Well, it's the guy showering, but it's the scene, it's everything that's surrounding it that's hilarious. All right,
Troy's like, drop, never gonna watch it.
Their secretive conversation that they're
having.
having.
Out of this hangout, I was like, I gotta go.
Like two characters end up having a secretive conversation. I might want to spoil anything, but they're having a secretive conversation. So they're coding everything they're saying. And this other guy walks in on them having a secretive conversation. But at first, all he can see is like a silhouette. And one of the guys ends up dropping soap. Okay. And the other guy bends over to pick it up. And when he sees, does not equate to what is actually happening in the scene. All right.
I worked at a prison. I know what happens next.
So I would recommend this anime just for the perverted humor.
Anyone over 17 plus, 16 plus, 17 plus.
It is extremely funny.
I bet it is. I hope it is.
It really is funny. I'll give Willis that one.
They have a full brown note scene. It's hilarious.
What the hell? Good Lord. What do you kids watch these days?
I'm just saying it is hilarious. Like, when things go down, just know that you're in for a ride, all right?
Can't you see he's in for a ride?
Because they never.
See, he's riding right now.
The female officers never let down on them.
Yeah, I've seen a few movies like this too.
Well, she let down on him, but that's a different sense. All right. So, Robert, you want the glory or should I?
Oh God!
You know what? You go ahead and take this because I chose this one, and I feel I shouldn't be punished for doing so.
I gotta believe before I end up on a.
Hey, you already heard me earlier, so.
Okay, so this is from Happy Sugar Life. The girl on the left-hand side is actually the one that got kidnapped. The guy has went through a very fucked up scenario, is all you can call it. I mean, would it be spoiling if I told what happened to him since it was like the first 2 episodes?
It's episode 1, and it's only really it's not really relevant to the plot other than like it's a minor story thing, really.
Well, he basically gets raped by one of his bosses for being a pretty boy and saying that he liked another girl. So he ends up getting saved after being tormented for like 3 days in a closet.
Well, yeah, he gets raped and then tied up and thrown in a closet for 3 days with no food.
So, in the end, though, he ends up thinking everyone older is disgusting, and he thinks she's the only one that's able to purify him. He follows this trend. There is no explaining your way out of what he says on here.
So hold on. So let me just bring a little bit more context. Not to justify it. I'm just saying, essentially, the reason this came about is that he was like wandering around aimlessly, and he saw the lost posters of her, and he takes these lost posters and he covers his entire room with them and starts drooling all over them, and he's basically fucked in the head. And then he's like wandering around, and then this girl basically. She gets out of the house, decides she wants to go find the main character, gets lost, and just happens to bump into this fucker who grabs her by the wrist, and then you can continue.
Well, he asks her to purify him, which isn't as bad as it sounds. I'm not going to justify his actions at all after this, but at first it starts with her just...
This is where the justifying comes in.
No, at first it starts with her just patting him on the head and saying, like, pain, go away, or something like that. And he starts taking it in another direction, saying that he ought to just kidnap her and keep her all to himself. I mean, he's a straight up pedophile. There's no justifying him. He needs to die.
They basically do a double fake out. They start going in creepy, and then he's like, "Can you please pat me on the head?" And he's like, make the pain go away. And you're like, what? And then she does that, and then he starts getting all weird and drooling, and then he doubles back down, and he's like, why don't you cut? He's like, I can help you find your family. Come home with me. And she was like, sure. And he's like, ugh, oh my god. His inner monologue is like the most disturbing thing in the entire series so far. Like, it's fucking horrendous.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just this character. Almost every character you see that you think is normal turns
They're not
out
all
to be fucked up.
pedophiles.
No,
They're
not all
pedophiles.
pedophile. Each one
Oh,
has
well,
their
thank
own
God.
thing.
Only 2 of them
Right?
We don't have one confirmed as a pedophile yet.
Right. Well, whatever. This guy is there's no
This
buts
guy,
about it.
he's
You
straight
could
up
not
pedophile.
argue it. You could not argue that he's not, because he is.
I have no argument for it. He's a straight up pedophile.
Do one
Okay.
friend a favor and you end up on a registration. It's like, good night.
Hey, that's why you don't hear me.
So, since you've up-talked it for 2 weeks now, Psyche is where this is from.
Jay, he's a Balchinian.
This anime is hilarious, by the way. But go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I was aiming to let you explain it.
I've already explained like 3 of these things.
Oh, okay, well, he's saying pooperly, rear-ended. Well, it was actually that their flight that they were going on their school trip has been temporarily suspended. So, all the characters are starting to get down in the dumps, and he comes out mooning everybody, saying pooperly, rear-ended. He's not the smartest character in the bunch. Psyche,
you can
which...
tell from that haircut.
Well, Psyche's a sidekick. He's able to read everybody's mind, but evidently he's just too stupid to read, I guess.
Now, I want to point out the 2 people that are clearly hanging their heads in shame in the background because they
I know. That's why I love
okay,
this anime,
yeah.
because this crap happens, man.
Dude,
But
it's literally one of those, like, I recognize that I should focus on the 2 main characters because of the funny hair, but I can't stop staring at the 2 in the back going, no.
The funniest part about this is, before this even happened and he started mooning, they were already pointing their heads down in shame
They know
because
what's about to happen. This man looks like a man that will moon you. He's got a moon on his face already.
Look, man. Look.
you.
There are
also-
so many scenes in this anime that would have you dying because of how funny it is.
And
Like,
it's
nothing is expected. Nothing is to be expected in this anime.
it's going into another one that's just short skits, but I actually agree on, because I mean it has a plot. Everything actually comes up later. It's just if they extended it out to the actual length episode, showed them walking around talking, it would just ruin it. I mean,
Yeah.
everything's just got to build up, climaxes, and then goes on to the next one. There's no resolution in it.
There is a character in here that I do think one of us probably was like him in maybe high school or middle school. I initially said Josh, but Josh continues to say it's not him. So I will then go on and defer to Robert.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
I believe Robert is Kaido. He has
Okay.
blue hair. He's a it's very he's chunish. That's the
The
best
fuck
way
is
to
that?
put it. He has that 8th grade syndrome.
Bad.
Bad,
Yeah.
but it's hilarious. And he has this like theme song for whenever he does anything.
Yeah, you definitely didn't know what I was like.
dun.
Back
You
in
don't know me? That's how that sounded. Jeez.
Now, we'll see. Once you watch it, you'll
Okay, all right.
you'll
We'll
probably
see.
cringe every time he pops up.
I will, but maybe not for the reason you think.
But it's even funnier because his 8th grade syndrome gets worse because of the main character. Because in one of the episodes, that's probably going to spoil part of it, but there's a snake in the classroom. I ain't gonna say how the snake got there, but it lunges at him and he holds his hand out and lightning strikes the snake, so he automatically thinks he has powers past that point. And it just gets worse every time he comes on the screen. For some reason, he thinks that he's this all-powerful person.
And you see him throw the dodgeball,
Yeah.
and it's so weak. This is so embarrassing, though. Because he hypes up this full throw, and they're like, "Oh my god, he's gonna hit him!" And he literally goes, "Ugh!" When he throws it.
I'm more curious on what the fuck that noise was you just made, Will.
That's the noise he made. He goes, "Ugh!" And they said they said something like it's a girl's throw or something. Like, it gets worse than the girl's throw.
Oh, Yunna and the Haunted Heart Spring. I've seen this.
Oh, so you've seen this one?
I don't remember if I've. I only recognize the little thing, the doobly bob, and on her hair there.
Yeah,
the character.
Yeah.
Well, I'll explain this one. So, Troy, since you don't know, the one with the blue thing on the side of her head is actually a ghost. The girl that's holding her arms out saying, "Then you can touch me wherever you want," cannot see or hear her. They've been communicating through a notepad. She wanted to examine the fabric of her clothes because she's able to change her clothes she's wearing, but she has to know what the material consists of. If I could have took the next 2 minutes out of this and showed it up on the screen, doesn't help the situation anywhere because it just gets worse and worse to the point. She wants to know what the ghost feels like, and so the ghost lets her touch her.
Mm.
That's all I got on it. Yeah, I killed it.
It's all good.
Alright, so I think that's actually all I had on this part.
Hey, Dunzo.
Yep. And now Troy can actually go into this one because it's the marry, fuck, or kill. Basically, we chose out 3 girls. You got to marry one of them, fuck one of them, and kill one of them.
I think if anybody, Troy knows what fucking marry kill means.
I played the game before.
Well,
see, there you go.
Sometimes they were high stakes.
Okay.
Well, the first one is the one I brought up. It's from the Suna Haraso. I can never remember the name of it. There is Yuri Kazami. She's the pink-haired one in the middle. She's kind of a stalkerish, always has her camera taking pictures, but she's really greedy because she's always selling pictures to the one on the right side, which is Sumire Yamanishi. She's your typical anime character where she secretly loves cute stuff, but she acts like she's all big and bad and all that until it's actually exposed later on. And then the last one's your typical lolly, I guess, is Yuzu Yukimoto. She's typical tsundere. She's really sensitive about her height, very violent, but has a little kind side to her.
Okay. Who's going first?
Well, let's hear from Troy first off those explanations. Is he here?
If you're not sure, you can just call them by their hair color.
Gonna marry. Oh God.
See, he knows it's very sketchy on one of those.
Okay, I'm gonna fuck the tall one because that's the least amount of chance I'll go to jail. Probably marry the one with the pink hair because who knows, man? A few years might be right, and I'll kill the kid because I hate kids. She's got her arms crossed. You can tell she's like, whatever. I don't even like these people. You can tell she's just gonna be the entire time you deal with her. So just go ahead and get her out of the way. Put her in the trunk and then push the car in the river. It's fine.
Sorry, got planned out step by step.
I think because I'm another one that hasn't seen it, I'm just gonna say I'm pretty much on the same page for the more or less the same reasons because I don't have any context. And
Go ahead, Josh.
I'm gonna fuck the pink-haired one.
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to jail more than likely because I don't like the...
Go on, Josh. Go.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
I don't like Yamashi, the black-haired one. She really gets on my nerves every time she enters the screen, so I'm gonna kill her, and I'm gonna end up marrying the tsundere.
Mm-mm. Why didn't you say the little one?
Oni-chan. I'm just fucking.
I got nothing here. You go, Willis.
Hold on, real quick. This may be a callback. You know, like I just remember this. So you know how you're talking about that one anime with the clans, where like you're now my sister, you're now my so and so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always heard Nason as like a kind of informal talking to somebody that you're like cool with, and I always saw it in old. This sounds really bad. I always saw it in old '70s Japanese films. And it was like, Nason, Kidawada, like, you know, just what it was like, hey, sister, you mind bringing me a beer or something like that. So, like, the entire time you're talking about, I was like, I wonder if they mean it like that. Like, it's not, but.
Right. No, you're actually more so correct. That's why I said they'd seen it more as a family hierarchy, but they weren't actually saying you're my brother and you're my sister.
Right. Yeah, I kind of saw it as more of a, like, you're my, like, the whole, I have friends that we're no blood relation, but I would call them my brother because we've been through some
Right. Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
Willis.
The black hair, that's the one. That's the big Mary right there.
mm-hmm.
See, I surprised you, didn't I? Did I surprise you, Josh? No,
Not really.
maybe.
Not really. No.
The pink hair, do whatever, and then the
do
small
whatever.
one can die because I'm not going to jail to get butt raped. So
See?
I'm sorry, I'm not getting butt raped.
You know what they do to pedophiles in jail?
I know exactly what they do.
Oh, boy. Oh, God.
Okay, I don't know anything about these characters. This is
I don't know.
Evangelia.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, see,
This one's hard because of
we got
you know
Troy
what's
in the
actually going
Oh,
on.
my God.
we got Troy.
You know
in a
what's going
stupor
on.
right
It's
now.
hard.
Oh,
Yeah. I'll be honest. None of them are ideal for really marrying,
Yeah.
at all.
Katsuragi is ideal for marrying towards the end because you realize that she's just under stress for her job, man. Like, oh God, Jesus, I can't.
You want me to go first?
Go
Well,
ahead.
you're gonna
Okay.
have to explain the characters. I've never
Okay,
seen this.
Okay. All right. I'll explain.
You've not seen it. What?
He doesn't like mecha
He
animes.
doesn't like mecha
It's
animes.
not a
and he
mecha
doesn't-
anime.
No,
It's
that's
not
that's
a
how he
mecha
would that's
anime.
how he would view it, and
You are high as a
he
kite.
doesn't like the older stuff.
Oh my God, get out of here, Josh. Go ahead.
I just
Yeah,
got
wait till
thrown
you
out of my
hear
own
what-
podcast.
We're taking control of the stream.
You
Alright.
have no idea, Troy. You have no
All right, do you want me to
idea.
explain this one? Because trust me, I'm a kind of a.
Go on, man.
Okay. So, long story short, Evangelion is essentially there was an event that happened on Earth that essentially destroyed 2/3 of the population of the Earth, known as the Awakening. I can't remember. Anyway, so they started getting mechas together.
First
and-
impact.
The first impact. That's right. No, or was it the second impact?
Well, there
Anyway,
was the
an
first and the
impact.
second
It was an impact. So any child that was in utero during the impact has the chance to use these mecha that they use. So the person on your left and the middle are two of the 14-year-old kids. Let's just go ahead and throw that one out there. That are mecha pilots. And then the one on the far right is Major Katsuragi, who is essentially in charge of all the kids. She's kind of essentially just a glorified babysitter.
Misato.
Masato Katsuragi. Is it?
It's
Katsuragi
Misato.
is right.
I don't know. I don't know the last name. I just know Misato.
Yeah, it's Masato is the first name.
It sounds like Darling in the Franks. Is that a close
Bruh.
representation?
Bruh.
You
Stop.
need
You need culture.
You need culture.
Look, this dude was given 6s to series that hadn't had a second season. So.
Well, okay, we can get into it. That's gonna be like a whole other sidetrack.
Josh, let's see you do it just based on what you don't know, like on the fact that you don't know any of them.
Just tell us which of the three, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you put me up in front, and I didn't know any of those three, so
Well,
I shouldn't have told you the ages. Damn it.
You want me to go
I mean,
first?
well, I'll just do it based on while pulling up this image, I guess. So
Don't you Google this, Josh. Don't you
I
Google
guess
it.
I'm gonna
Evangelion
fuck
there.
the brown head on the left, marry the blue hair, and kill the purple one just because she
She's
seemed
a
like a bitch on the Google part.
Josh,
She's
the
a-
door
she's-
is the door is to your left.
she's a redhead, by the way.
I don't
Wait.
know. Mine might not be what yours is, Troy. Which one do you go for? What are your
all
setup?
right, I've already figured them all out, so I want to hear you. I'm coming.
Okay, you want me to go?
Go ahead,
Go
Rob.
ahead.
Okay. Fuck Asuka. Marry Misato because she's like she seems like she would be really fun in general. She's very much adult. She's got like past relationships. Sure, everybody in the show is fucked up in the head in some way or the other, but she's the most well-adjusted. She keeps her shit together. She knows how to fucking party too. I mean, oh my god, she knows how to party.
Which one's that?
The one on the right.
Oh, okay.
And kill Ray because I mean, you guys know why. You guys know why.
You know why.
Like, yeah.
No, us guys don't know why. I'm out of the loop
Well,
on this one.
I'm not gonna spoil the entire
Spoil it
fabric of the
so bad.
series.
It'll spoil it so bad.
Right.
Yeah, it would.
Right. Let's just say that I would kill her, and it would be the right.
Mike, I
thing.
want to hear yours. I'm
I
curious.
was gonna say, unfortunately, mine is literally the one that Robert had. I'm going with the purple. I'm marrying the purple head. I'll have because I don't know what you declare a super happy fun time with the redhead, but you know.
Oh,
And,
Hey, there is a version of her in
well,
movies that
in
is.
the movies, okay, but you know
technically-
what I meant. You know what I meant, though,
She's
right?
technically an adult,
But
but
you know what I meant is the bed scene.
I got you.
Okay.
No, don't
See?
do that to
Oh.
me.
Wow.
oh my side.
Trauma is
Wow.
back.
Bro, come on.
You talking about that bed scene?
That bed scene, yeah.
End of Evangelion, scene 1, and
bless.
go.
And then I don't want the what's her name? Ray.
Ray Ayanami. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna kill Ray right off the bat. If anybody's watched this, you know exactly why this abomination to mankind is to go. And here's the thing: you can kill one. There's 600 others, apparently.
It's like the fucking broom closet.
Hey, just bam, bam, bam. Here's the catch: is I don't. Okay. Based on if I didn't know anything, I'd probably bang Asuka and marry Katsuragi or Misato. But the thing is I could go either way because
you know the actual ending. So.
Asuka, if you really actually look into her character, she's very down to earth. She just hides it all behind that smartassness.
Right.
Okay, that's definitely the purple head. Just from the look of it.
No, Asuka is the one on the
They're
left.
talking about the one on the left, yeah.
But see, they're both the same character. They're very smart ass, but they hide they have their shit together. Now, if you put Mari Illustrious in here, I would have had a time. I'd have had to like confer with shamans and priests.
Josh, Asuka is the token tsundere of the series. There you go. In the very broadest of terms, but that is not at all her character. That is what, like, the most simple definition I can give you without really
Josh,
going
I'm gonna have
into
to like write you a prescription for like a series of old animes.
He doesn't do it,
You
man.
watch them, I know.
You know how hard it was to get him to watch Ultimate Survivor?
It wasn't that hard to get me to watch it. It's just I had to remember the name of it.
For like a long time.
What about Last Exile? That was an old one, but he wouldn't even watch that either. That was from early 2000.
Serial Experiments Lane. That one is one of those you have to be like in an art house mood to watch.
Yeah,
Big time.
definitely.
You don't watch Serial Experiments Lane for fun.
It's like
I watched it because it was recommended for something else that I liked, and then I was like, "Dang, man, I need to check my recommendations."
Yeah. Well, let's just put it this way: I've got anime art on my wall. One of them is Evangelion, and the other one is Serial Experiments Lane. Oh yeah.
It's gonna be. I couldn't find one with all three of them in it that didn't have 1,500 other characters, so I had to improvise.
She's like 3 people.
This is 7 Deadly Sins. This is Diane. She's a giant.
Deanne.
Whatever.
That's how they say it in the anime, but whatever.
I've had a mind blank now. Yeah, Marilyn.
Marilyn.
I already know
Meryl Streep.
who's Willa's picks here. And then we have Elizabeth. Everyone know who the characters are?
What I will say is every single one of the women in this show, except for maybe like one, are bad as fuck. As you can tell. Bad as fuck as in like the way they look. Like the way they're drawn is just, oh my god.
Oh yeah, you can tell 7 Deadly Sins is full fan service. I mean, it's fine, but
oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I didn't agree with them doing the 4-episode OVA that they called a second season that I don't acknowledge. But 10 Commandments, they cleaned up their act and they've done really well with it.
It acknowledges you.
I did like the DN episode though, personally. But whatever.
I ain't gonna say I didn't like the episodes. It's the way
Right,
I watched this whenever it came out, and then I had to wait a year for 4 episodes they called a second season. Come on.
Right, I got you. Like, I came at this series with a different context than you guys did, so I have a different outlook, I guess. Yeah. It still irritates me, though.
So.
Anyway, who goes first?
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, I'd probably fuck, keep forgetting the name. Marilyn. Yeah.
Merlin.
I'd fuck
King
Merlin.
Arthur, man. Come on.
Marry Elizabeth and kill Diane.
Ain't you read King Arthur?
Dang.
Bitch, I'd like to see you try to kill Diane. That's all I can say.
Well, I mean, this is if I got all power and I could be able to kill one of them. But
right.
I don't like her bubbly personality. I mean, that's all it comes down to.
I mean, ultimately, try to kill any of the females in this series, and you'd have a hard fucking time.
Yeah, especially the 3 of them you picked, Robert.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So go ahead, Robert. What's your selections?
Okay, my selection is marry Deanne because Deanne is bae. I would probably see. Man, Merlin is just. Oh my god. Honestly, man, between in terms of the fuck between her and Elizabeth, man, goddamn. All right, Elizabeth for sure. Kill Merlin because I don't know.
They've tried that.
Well,
because what?
No. Like I legitimately don't have a good reason to kill her. I'm just like looking at visual preferences and character preferences. Merlin is like, she's cool and she's aloof and shit, and she'd probably be good in bed. I don't know. Something about Elizabeth is like, I don't know.
What are you about to say, Josh?
Well, Willis, go ahead. I think I pretty much got yours pegged on which one you pick out of the 3.
Why do you say that?
'Cause Merlin has that little bit of a violent tendency that you tend to steer toward.
Oh my god. Okay.
Merlin is not that violent versus a lot of the other ones. Deanne is more violent than Merlin is.
Right.
On AEO tonight.
That's all I'm saying.
Go ahead, Willis.
Merlin's just like, whatever.
Oh my god.
Okay. So this is actually a tough one. All right. It's a tough one. This is why it's a tough one. It's because of 2 characters. All right. So Okay, you know what? It's not that tough. It's not that tough. Okay,
No,
it's
what?
kind of tough. Okay, so Elizabeth dies.
The
All
figure.
right. Okay, so this is where it gets tough because you can't marry both of them.
Mhm.
Okay, for reasons. Okay.
They both sin. You know what I
So
mean?
I feel like if I married one of them, the other would kill me.
I
So
mean,
is my life on the line too? Is the question.
Are you really bringing semantics into this game?
Is my life on the line, Josh?
Yeah, your
Will I
life's gonna
die?
be on the line.
okay, you are. What do you mean that like you're Meliodas? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Meliodas.
Because I always view these as from the main character's perspective.
Okay, then
Yeah.
how about you are Meliodas? How about that?
Okay.
So you can't
Okay.
die because
So I'm good. So I'm good. All right. So in this case, I marry Deanne. All right,
Mm,
and I have fun times with Merlin. So
I mean, I can
Yeah.
respect
I
that.
called it.
because she won't kill me, but she probably won't say anything either. She's very calm, you know. Other girl would kill me.
Well, she'd
Okay?
kill you if you
and
found
she
her.
would
Well,
kill
no,
her, and
no.
she would try to kill her as well, knowing that whatever was going
No.
on. So I'm
Don-
safe in all this.
Deanne isn't the one you'd have to worry about on that one though. There's that other
That's
floating
saying
pillow.
both. Well, if you mean who's it, King?
Yeah, King.
If you mean that, I'm okay because as
If
I
you-
said from my perspective. So
I mean, if
I'm
you're
Xing everyone
Meliodas,
else out of the world.
that pillow biting son of a buck.
That's any of them if you do it right.
but yeah, definitely Deanne for me. Like, I'm the complete opposite when it comes to what you were saying about it, Josh. I like her bubbly personality. I think she's like the cutest in general. Like, and she has the best heart in my
Only
opinion.
thing
Well, I mean,
is, you can't make any commitment to her and then back out because she'll kill you.
right, yeah.
If not her, then the other giants.
But if
Just
we're talking
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. If we're talking about just going all out, then yeah, for sure. Mary Deanne, definitely.
I just want to note that I have no issue with Elizabeth. It's just that one had to go. So.
Yeah. No, like that's what I'm saying. Like, that was a hard decision for me between.
This one's easy. I already seen all
Yeah.
three of them on his screen.
That's
This
fine.
one's
I
easy.
guess I didn't need to wait. On that
Actually,
last
it's a
one.
little bit harder, but it's easy. It's easy.
All right. Android 18, all from Dragon Ball Z, the original part. One of like Bulma and Chi-Chi.
Mhm.
Right.
The Dragon Ball Z fan of the group, which I'm
Mhm.
going to point toward Robert
Damn,
in this
there's
one.
two of
Can
them.
go
both
first.
of us are
Whoa.
Dragon Ball Z fans. Don't you
Whoa.
insult Michael like that.
Did you not just hear us arguing earlier? Like, are we being serious right now?
All right, Michael.
You not think I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan?
Let's
Hey.
bring this back up. Okay, episode one. No.
Podcast over.
Motherfucker, in 2000, I was
Impugn
finding
my name on this
copies of the
podcast.
Majin Buu Saga. You can go on kick rocks.
Go ahead, Josh. Tell me your three. I want to hear your three.
I'm curious now.
I'd fuck Android 18.
Mm,
I'd kill Bulma.
mm,
And I'd marry Chi-Chi.
bro. Okay. Michael?
So I just want to say that relationship would never last. Like, that's worse than the last one in regards to oil and water. Right?
Mm. Yeah. Okay, who's going next?
Well, yeah, since you're the favorite of Dragon Ball Z, why don't you go ahead and go next?
I did.
My side.
Okay, so I did honestly think about this a lot because, well, not one of them. Like, the kill is definitely Chi-Chi because Chi-Chi's not a bad mother, but I don't like her as a love interest.
Oh
I
no,
just don't.
she raped
Even
Goku.
Well, even Goku doesn't really like her that much as a love interest.
Okay,
like,
Goku doesn't know about kissing, so let's take a moment and let's
Right,
just...
right. I know.
You got a point there.
I know. That's what
So-
I'm saying. He's just like, oh, there's this crazy woman in my life. Oh shit, I've got a kid. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna go fight. You know. But anyway, so the hard thing for me, Giggity, is between Bulma and Android 18 because for me, I'm not necessarily like, oh, because some people might. I'm not saying you guys, but I'm saying some people might immediately just go Bulma because she's like the richest person in the world, blah blah blah. But hear me out. I would say that for me, Android 18 has more of the interesting. I feel like she's a really good mother, and I feel like the relationship between her and Krillin is really sweet, and she's grown as a character. She's gone from a full-fledged villain to like really like, and not quite as much as somebody like Vegeta, for example, but like
Better be watching what landmine you stepping on.
Hey,
Bulma died this year. The Japanese voice actress died this year.
Hey. I already got the
Mr. Satan died this week.
Wait, what?
I did not know that.
What?
The guy that played the main thing he always did was Professor Oak, but he played the voice of Mr. Satan.
Wait, the English one or the Japanese one?
Japanese.
Fuck.
I'd be okay. I'm just saying. I don't want him to die, but I'd be okay with King Kai going away because I don't like that voice. Dom dom bom 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 dom bom bom. It's like, oh.
Anyway,
2018. Stop that.
Anyway,
hold on. King Kai or Mr. Popo?
King Kai.
The Japanese version of King Kai.
The Japanese version of King Kai.
Not the. That's Sean Schimmel.
I'm okay with that. I am not okay with the Japanese version.
Okay, in my head it'd be Mr. Popo because his ass is like 100% blackface, and they even make
I'm okay with Mr. Popo because Dragon Ball Z Abridged made me okay with it.
Now, hold on. The reason I like Mr. Popo without the Abridged is he held off Trunks and Goten when they were trying to escape. Like, he literally capped every single one of their punches and didn't even break a sweat. And he was like, "You kids ready for anything else, son of a bitch?" Like, or however he talks.
Picturing a fucking Jamaican. I'm just trying to picture like a dreadlocks Mr. Popo talking with a Jamaican accent.
Goku, what you coming around here for? You want to get into the hyperbolic chamber?
Hyperbolic man. Anyway, getting back to the subject at hand. Like I said, I would marry Android 18 because I feel like I really like her character. I always thought she was really pretty, and I'm glad that they made her like an actual good guy and that she's changed, and like her romance with Krillin is really sweet, and they fight, sure, but Bulma is cool. Like, she would be really fun to have, just to mess around with. Because she can afford anything. So one night with Bulma, she could do whatever she wanted. She could buy fucking spaceships and shit for you. Then after that, it's like whatever.
That is not where that was originally headed.
All right. So it's easy for me now after I've heard all of you people speak.
All you people. What do you mean you?
Wow.
All you people.
So, second time out.
So I marry Android 18.
Mm-hmm.
I have fun with Chi-Chi, and Bulma can go die. She already has.
Did Troy say his?
Oh shit!
No, I haven't said mine for the last one either. Y'all went through 7 deadly sins. Like, all right, moving on.
Oh.
Hey, okay, man. You went silent on us.
Talking the entire time. All right. Here we. Chi-Chi gotta go. That hen needs to get out.
Man.
Tired of her yelling every day time at Goku and him children's.
Ooh.
We'll have the sexy times with Android 18 because
we know.
The reason I'll marry Bulma is 100%. It's not canon anymore, but it showed how much of a boss Bulma was. She stands by her man. She will 100% stand by her man every single time. She realized Vegeta was having some issues because he couldn't go Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball GT. So she made a MF and Ray with her resources so her man could hang out with Goku again and they could fuse.
I mean, she did invent time travel. She is a pretty badass.
Right. The thing is, but she stands by her man. It also,
Chi-Chi gave us Gohan and Goku.
Prince of all Saiyans. This son of a bitch walking around like the biggest dick in the entire Dragon Ball Z universe. And she was like, "Hey, bring that over here." And he was like, "Yes, ma'am."
Look. Hold on. Hold your horses. All right. Hold your horses real quick. If Gohan was never around to stop Cell, all your little friends would be dead. I just want that to be known. All right.
Hold on. Gohan. Yeah, Gohan stops Cell. That's fine. But it's
if Gohan's not there because Chi-Chi's dead, everybody dead.
I didn't say when I screwed her.
I'm just saying. You know when you kill Chi-Chi.
So we're literally going through time to ruin everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming when they say kill, I mean they can kill her off at the beginning.
Kill
Is that
her
what
from
they're
the
saying?
inception when she had that weird ass spaced ass pink ass outfit on, running around on a motorcycle when she was like a teenager.
Hey,
and
we
Goku
all
was
have
a
cringy
kid.
moments, all
Y'all
right?
don't
We all have
remember
cringe. We
Y'all
all
don't
have cringy
remember
moments.
that pedophile
Remember?
moment?
Do you remember how Goku would check to see if they're a girl? I mean, come on.
Yeah, and my point is also Goku doesn't know about kissing. He's like, you kissed her? That's weird. We're like, how do you have 3 kids? No, really, no, everybody shut up. How do you have 3 kids right now? Or 2 kids? He only has
So
2.
yeah.
Rape.
Hey, they got
Yeah,
busy.
that's all you can bring it down to.
By the way, shout out to Pan. I'm mad that Pan is no longer a part of the continuity anymore. I really
That's
like
not
her.
true. Did you
She
watch
is.
Super?
She is.
I've not watched Super. No, like I've told y'all this.
She is a character in Super, and it's not a spoiler.
Is she like?
Yeah.
Is she honestly got?
She is a baby.
No.
She's a baby.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Mm,
And they play around with it a little bit. They
And
play
that's not
around
a
with her.
spoiler, Josh.
They kind of play around with her like Saiyan blood heritage
Dragon Ball
thing.
Super movie, the Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods movie that came out like 6 years ago.
Okay, she is canon, and so is Bulla.
Yep.
Is
So there you
Bra canon as well?
Who, Broly?
No,
Oh no, you
Bra.
said Brawl. You're talking about
Bra.
Trunks' brother,
Sister.
sister. No, that's Bola.
Bulla. That's Bulla now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and since we skipped over you during the last one, Troy, what was your 7 deadly sins? I can bring them back up on the screen.
Oh, I'll fuck Merlin because you can look in her eyes and tell she'll wear you out.
See, he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about.
We're gonna kill Elizabeth because that
Ooh,
hot
ooh.
season bitch the entire time. Oh goodness, oh you little, and then slaps him. Because all he's trying to do is get a nut. That's all he's trying to do is get a nut. And
See,
then
this
we'll
guy knows what he's
marry
talking about.
Dan because I guarantee you will come home after a rough day and she will have food on the table because she loves you.
And she will pick you up. You know what I'm
She'll
saying?
pick you up and hold you.
You know what I'm
Put you
saying?
between those
You'll
giant
fall,
boobs.
you'll
and
fall
make you feel
places
like a
that you
man.
never fell before.
Yeah,
And
you love
it-
every minute.
And if you want to mess around with her in real time, she can take that little pill. She can take that little pill and become regular
Any
size.
girl can. Oh, you talking about that
Different.
pill? Never mind.
I'm about to reach through the fucking screen and smack the shit
I
out
like
of
it.
you.
I like it. No. Josh, you keep
So
doing that. That
Troy
was
and I,
great.
me and you agree. All right, we good.
Why, that Elizabeth's got to die?
Yeah, we
I
agree.
shouldn't like I understand why the character's there. I shouldn't like her. Like I was like, this is arbitrary.
I mean, I'm not talking about.
I'd rather fuck that giant ass
I'm-
pig that's on top below. The
The mama or the baby pig?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
God damn it.
Next.
I don't
It's
know if I have any more.
Everything.
Didn't I send you that one from Blindes? Did you fucking lose that shit again?
Wait, which one?
God damn it, from Blindes. I sent it to you twice.
Hold on, hold on.
Did you use the 3 mains or did you go?
the three mains.
Hold
Okay.
on. I'm bringing it back
I'm
up.
saying because I've seen that one. That's what I was wondering.
Right.
Yeah, I have it. I forgot to put it in the folder. That is completely my bad.
Go ahead and do that shit, and we'll fiddle fuck around until you do, or be quiet. One of the two.
Let's see. I've got to find it. It's in the folder here.
Troy, we got to rope you in more often.
So
This has
that's
been
in
a
his
blast.
that's in his deep folder that says "Do not touch corrupted files."
It's like 5 folders deep. And he's got a bunch
Yeah,
of
5
fake
folders
files in
deep.
there.
We know what's in there. He probably zipped a few of them.
All right,
There we go.
here it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so do you
yeah,
want
this
me
is Resort Boy. I've seen this one before.
This is what?
Resort Boy.
No,
It's
no,
Blindes.
no. Troy,
I know
Troy.
what he just
Troy.
referenced.
Troy, no.
No one ever look it up that ever watches this podcast.
Yeah.
We will be thrown off
If
the
you're
air.
over 18, if you're over 18, it's fine. If you're under 18, don't go look at that.
I'm going to have to put a mature content label on this.
just a brief synopsis. So
hold on, real quick. I want to put you not putting a mature. You know how many times I've heard "fuck tonight"? Even that one.
I
Fair
probably
point.
should have. All right.
Anyway.
Oh, go ahead.
Are we gonna? Okay, so
you explain it.
Are we gonna do the explanation first, or do we want to do just like blind? But everybody's seen it except for maybe I don't think you've seen it. Have you?
I've seen a few episodes of it because of memes.
Okay, so Troy has not, right?
No.
Okay, so the premise is the girl in pink on the left. She's getting her first job. She's like 16, right? I think she's 16. And she basically like gets flagged down by this guy who has a maid cafe, but it is a like anime trope themed cafe where one of them is like a tsundere and one of them is like the little sister character. I think you can probably guess who that is. And then her thing is that she's the sadist because she has this issue to where she has like permanent bitch face. So everybody always thinks that she's talking like mad shit on him and they get scared about it. And then he sees that and he's like, that's my fetish. And he's like, fucking, you can do that and that can be your like thing. Then you have a bunch of these to be like talked down to. It's just like all the shit that happens during that. And they bring in more girls that have different things. Like there's one that's like an idol character and one of them is like the big sister character. But anyway, that's essentially, so Pink is the sadist. It's like that fucking meme. Smile, sweet, sadistic, surprise, service, whatever.
We are so tired. Or however it goes.
Steve. But anyway, the pink one is the sadist character. That's her character when she's working. The yellow one is that's the little girl character. I should mention though, for context, that, and of course this is the case in these kind of things, she's the 20-year-old that's like walking around drinking beer and shit, and she's like real self-conscious about her height, which is a trope in itself. But and then the one on the right is like a really hardcore gamer chick who's supposed to be the tsundere, but she keeps getting distracted by games. So there you go.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right, so I would fuck the big titty gamer chick for obvious reasons, and I would probably hang out with her and play games and shit because she seems pretty cool, laid back.
You can only fuck her once. You can hang out.
Now, I would marry the lolly chick. Now, hear me out. If you know her character, she's an adult.
Damage control.
She's an adult.
Hashtag no context. God bless.
She's an adult, and I'll have you know that my first girlfriend was like 5 foot, so I don't have any problem with short chicks.
No, that's
notice he didn't know the age.
I said earlier that she was 20.
We were 12.
No, you said your girlfriend. She's 5 foot.
5 foot.
He said 5 foot, but he never said 12. You know. No.
Bruh, she was like 22 when I dated her. Anyway, and that was like fucking like 10 years ago. But anyway, but yeah, like I would marry her because if you know her character, she's like really, she's like the most responsible. She's cool. Like she drinks beer and shit around him. She's
there's enough beer in this house in this podcast.
And I would kill I would kill the chick in pink, not because she's a bad person, but because I couldn't live with the bitch face no matter how much she tried to hide it. So I wouldn't marry her, and I wouldn't fuck her because she'd be looking at me with these fucking bitch face eyes and like accidentally inherently telling me to kill myself or whatever, and I just can't I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It just ain't me.
All right.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and say my piece. Although I know somebody in here has already like figured me out. I don't care. You can go jump off a bridge. But Mary Purple. What?
I made a prediction.
Marry the purple head.
Where's the purple head? Okay.
Okay, or the pink. Okay. Have my way with blue.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I guess you got to kill the 20-year-old. She's seen 20 years of life, so she's
that's enough.
You gotta go.
She ain't getting any taller.
Anyone that ever wants to go back and play just those last few seconds, that small thing I just murmured was he would kill the brown head. So, just saying.
Okay, it's not as bad as somebody in here damage controlling pedophiles, but I don't know what to say.
I wasn't damage controlling pedophiles.
Advocating.
Hey man.
But
hey man, now.
He was not for anybody listening. He's not advocating or we can donate any such type of that.
Troy, you want to go or you want me to go?
Hashtag feminism. Oh man.
God.
Look, I'll probably put it to the one in the blue just because out of the three with no context, I'm assuming she's of age. I'll marry the one in the pink. I'll marry the one in the pink with the purple just because, I don't know, she just has this, like, yay, and listen to y'all, like, I like waking up to a bitch face every morning.
Right?
Something to, like, instantly hate from the start to be like, you know what?
Know what I'm saying?
I'm going to be here tomorrow just to
Preach. Preach.
And then the girl in the yellow, she needs to get thrown off a bridge. You can just look at her hands on her hips like she's about to sash you off or something. There's a difference between resting bitch face and actual bitches. You can tell this woman will nag on you because you put your underwear.
See, I feel like
next to the hamper, but not
he
in
actually
the
watched
hamper.
it.
Like she looks like that person's like, really? You couldn't just?
Is that what you think, Robert?
No.
What?
You think his picks would switch if he actually watched it?
It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. That's fine. I have it, so that's fine.
Hey, I mean, it's whatever.
Slap monkeys or something. I don't know.
Slap monkeys.
I'll slap a monkey so hard.
Well, mine, I'd actually marry the one in blue. I'd fuck the one in pink, and the yellow one would have to die. Just from what I've seen of the show, I don't like her.
Yeah, she's more like she's more like the big sister who's like, okay, guys, fucking quit fucking around and get to work. That's pretty much what she's like most of the time.
Which one is this?
The yellow one. So the pink one is 16, the purple one is 17, and the yellow lolly chick or whatever the fuck you want to call her, she's 20. And they're always
Troy,
like making fun of the fact that she's in
great. I'm going
Troy.
to jail. Awesome.
Yep, I was
I'll
going to
see y'all
say,
there.
Troy didn't ask for no ID on that one.
I didn't ask for ID for the first one. Yeah, you just showed me a picture through. She was like, all right, Troy, out of these, which one would you like?
All right, well, while I'm getting up one of the last segments here for the random anime generator for next week, have either, I don't know if Troy has, but have y'all looked into any of the stuff coming up in the fall term just around the corner?
I've glanced at it.
Well,
yeah, there's a lot that I'm looking forward to.
I mean, I may take sociology for the fall term, but I'm really not sure.
Well, I know
take a lot of
PA Works.
electives just to tick off.
PA Works is coming out with one that I'm actually really excited over. I can't pronounce the name to save my life. It's Ashitakara is the last two.
Please, God, send these to me before so I can tell you how to pronounce them.
Well, PA Works also done, no, its English name is So Many Colors in the Future, What a Wonderful World. Something like that. PA Works also done Angel Beats, Charlotte, and Another, 3 of my highly recommended animes that I watched before. And then I know, Robert, you probably looked into Ingress, the animation.
Maybe I forgot. You're gonna have to remind me.
It's it's based on an old video game.
Yeah, clear as mud. Don't know what the game is.
Well,
no, I can't say that I have. I mean, I may have heard the name like once or twice, but not super familiar.
Well, it's from Craftar.
It's Ingress the name. Ingress is the predecessor to Pokemon Go.
Wait. Yeah, you know what? That's probably where I heard that. Is that?
Yeah,
wait, did you say it was an old game or it's?
I didn't. It's not really an old game, but it's the concept of a.
Listen, it's a sci-fi anime.
Yeah, it's going to be a sci-fi. It's also Craftar's first serious animation that they've done. That's the only reason why I'm going to look into it. Just
from the summary and the images they've given us, it actually looks like it's going to be pretty good. That's a better explanation.
And then
I'll probably get to picking it up whenever I actually get to that season and start looking at stuff.
And then
I've been looking ahead.
I know you watched The Pet Girl of Sakura,
Yeah.
Cloverworks is actually coming out with another one. All I remember is the word bunny girl in the title.
Yeah, I know.
Hard pass.
No, it looks like it's gonna be good. It's a comedy
No, I was about
to say,
romance school one, but
that
they
be-
got a lot coming out this fall that I'm actually
If you
looking
look at
forward
Tiger
to.
and Bunny, you're like, no, hard pass.
But no, it's not like Tiger and Bunny.
My
But
point is like titles can be deceiving.
Right, like Happy Sugar
yeah,
Life.
yeah.
Yeah. But I've got the random anime generator, and we've been at it for right at 2 hours now. So I'm gonna
Hey.
go ahead and see what it generates.
So Troy, because you haven't been initiated, we basically are
This
trying
one
to
is
figure out
good.
something.
I say we watch
The-
it.
This is what's been happening because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get something that none of us have seen, and then we all watch it and give our opinion the next week. And Michael's always like, for the first 20 minutes, he's like, "Yeah, I've seen that."
I see
That'd be
this.
good.
Well, Clockwork
Hey,
Planet
this
was
is
really
good.
good, though. It's one I would suggest.
Well,
But-
see, you both have seen it, so
See, I shouldn't have said anything. I have not
I
seen
shouldn't.
this.
I have. It's weird.
I have not seen
Have you not
this.
seen it?
mm-hmm.
Oh,
We
Yeah,
should
I've
watch
seen
this one.
Yeah, Michael, I really believe that. I really believe it. You're such a good actor.
Oh man, thank you.
The Knot in the Arena.
Sounds like anytime like there's a quote unquote nice guy downtown. Listen here.
Willis, wild
Yeah.
guess from the Chuckles. You've seen this one.
Yeah,
I heard some Snickers.
yeah.
So, mhm.
It's good. It's a sports anime.
Yeah.
Sports animes are so weird.
Hey, some of them really good. No, I have not seen this one. It's actually on my drop list.
I don't want to see it, but
But that's
But,
because,
okay.
well, no, it's on my drop list because it hasn't even come out yet. But
Oh, is it not out yet?
oh, it's not out.
Winter 2018. Yeah, so we can't actually literally watch this at all.
right, I've been on that live chart, and I know that I immediately
Oh.
went and dropped it. I don't watch the all guy shows like that either.
No
so.
all guy shows, no all girl shows. Got it.
Majestic Prince.
Okay, listen, just hear me out. Okay, it's not bad. I have seen it, but it's not bad. All right, it has a little bit of story towards the middle. You done went to the next page. Wow.
So this looks like a
This
romance.
looks like a
anime.
reverse harem.
It
This looks like some type of
it
reverse
looks
harem.
fucking awful.
Ooh, it looks awful. Hmm.
No, not awful in the good way.
No, this is
Got a 4.5 out of 5.
This looks like a reverse harem.
No, it may not
Three
be-
dudes fighting over that one girl.
It more likely sounds like a sort of Sex in the City anime where it's like, I don't know who to pick between these guys.
That's a reverse harem, Troy.
No, reverse harem is the guy going like, man, all these girls in my bedroom.
That's a harem, Troy. The reverse harem is the
Yeah,
opposite.
but he always has. By the end of it, they're like, oh, we can share them, and I'm like, no.
No, okay. So you have never watched a harem anime then. They never go with the full share mode. That has happened.
Oh,
Okay, it happened in High School
hold on, I'm sorry.
DxD, but
I've
barely.
been watching the long harem. animes.
You haven't. Yeah, you've been watching harem hentai.
Hey,
Yeah,
You haven't been watching harem anime.
Matsune's happening.
So we gonna do this or what?
I really don't want to, but I already know
my
I haven't
God.
seen it. Willis hasn't seen it, and
Okay. So if it's 2 votes against and I don't give a shit, then we can try again.
Please don't be another reverse harem.
Just go ahead.
There's like so many out there, and they're all just. You could tell because it's like always like a girl's face. And this one's even worse. What's even worse about this one though? There's something Robert probably doesn't know about anime yet. But if you
Mhm.
ever see like a rose or like a flower on a cover art for anime and it shows like some dudes,
Mm-hmm.
there's probably some funny business one way or another. Just to let you know. Just to let you know.
Okay. I don't see that as being in my wheelhouse anyway, so I doubt I'd
No,
see it
you
either.
see, you would see it like, oh, that looks bad. That looks awesome. And there's like a rose in the far corner. They got you, man.
I already know Willis has probably seen this one.
I don't know if y'all would end up watching it anyways.
Okay.
I
Keep
just
on
know
going.
from the art style. I figured you had watched it.
Well, if you scroll down, you'd see why, but you might want to, when you look at something, scroll down so you can look at how many episodes there are.
Oh, only 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's why I said you probably won't like it.
Based on the game by Geiga.
Okay, hear me out. This was really weird, but it's good in the weird way, but it's really weird.
This one's on my list right now.
Do you know what it's about then?
Do you download this in your sleep?
I remember you talking about it, and I put it on my list.
Okay, well,
Like forever ago, back when the
It only-
camera-
it's a movie.
It's a movie. It's a really, really fucking good movie. I don't care what Willis says.
He already knew I was gonna say something.
Hard pass.
The Laughing Salesman.
But I
Spring
also-
2017.
It's on my watch list, but I haven't watched it yet.
I mean, no.
But there's
It
a
looks
reason why
weird.
I haven't watched it yet. Yeah. It's an episodic anime, so
Okay, so
Every freaking time.
okay, do we want to just skip this one because all of the ones that we haven't seen so far have literally just been the same type of thing?
okay, sure.
Yeah, the
Like-
episodics.
Right, like the first one was like it was like a 7-minute, or it was like a whole bunch of shorts together, and the second one's like
Troy
7
over here silently judging me for watching so much, but he hasn't actually seen my watch list to know that it's actually a lot larger.
Oh, no,
We should
I-
watch this one.
yeah.
I already knew we all three had seen that one. Fuck y'all.
Troy has it. Hey, vote aye.
Beautiful Bones. Haven't
Okay, hear me out. This one is also good. No, you see, it has a good. Have you seen Gossip?
seen- No.
No.
What? I watched Gossip Girl.
No, Gossip. Like go sick.
Oh my god.
I watched that Gothic.
It's actually a really good
No,
anime. I
we
think
should
Josh
watch
will
this.
like it.
No. Go back
Josh
right
is off
now.
that so
You go back
fast.
right now. I'm voting yes.
No.
I don't know what
No.
Evangelion is.
No,
Watch
No.
it.
No.
no,
No. No.
no.
No.
No, that's boiling. I know exactly what that is.
Did
No.
you see the flowers? Did you see them?
No. Look, I've already. I
Okay,
put my
This
foot
one's
down.
good. This one's
Batum.
good, but it has
The
that's
name is
drama.
Doom.
but
It
it's
rhymes
good.
with doom, and soon you'll be seeing yours all too soon.
It's another one that's based off of a
Batum.
game, but it's good. Wow.
God, we should have stuck with the
I'm
one.
gonna stop
from-
saying
We should
things
have.
on
God
your-
bless. I would come back next week just to make sure that he watched the first 3 episodes of Evangelion. Oh my god! And that's not even getting into the metaphysical stuff. That's
He-
like
he
just
wouldn't- he
mecha
wouldn't-
anime.
Look,
Yeah,
look.
yes.
Have you
monster.
watched Steins Gate, Troy? Yeah.
No, but that's because I just haven't been watching animes in a while. Y'all keep talking.
Okay.
about
This dude essentially trashed Steins Gate. So
Steins Gate is my favorite anime of all
he
time.
is also like I said, he's also given anime 6s because they had the gall to
So
not
wait,
have a second season.
Is Steins getting a mecha anime or?
No. Steins Gate is, I'll just, without spoiling too much, it's basically about a mad scientist who, he's not really a mad scientist. He's like kind of like this washed up guy
It's just
who likes to think.
misunderstood.
No, he's basically, he like him and one other like nerdy dude who like surfs fucking Reddit and has like a digital harem
Got an issue with this?
on a fucking like visual novel video game. Like they sit around and they goof around and they do science and shit and they just act like mad scientists and they accidentally should I say what, like, is it poignant to say that immediately?
You
Because
can say that, but don't give the context around
Okay.
it.
they accidentally invent a way to travel back in time, but it's not a traditional method of doing it.
Right, and that's all he has to say about it.
Right.
That's great.
It is not like any other time travel anime or any other time travel thing, because the method that is used to do it and the way that evolves and the way
It's
that
completely different and original.
yes, it is 100%.
It is. I'll agree on that part.
I've got the DVD box set. Like I love it. It's great. And Steins Gate Zero the actual sequel series. I say sequel series because the original one was based off of a visual novel, and it had a sequel visual novel, which is the second season, quote unquote, is out right now, and it's actively airing. And Michael is waiting until the very end. I stopped like 5 or 6 episodes in, mainly because it's a fucking thrill ride. Like, granted, the first series builds up very slow. It's like slowly clicking up a big long drop for a roller coaster, and then you just go for that fucking roller coaster ride, and it doesn't stop even into the second technically like second series or the sequel series. It like just drops you right back into it for round 2. It's intense. I love it. But anyway, let's find some other shit that we can
what about
actually watch.
Celestial Method?
Haven't seen it.
I have not seen it.
I have not seen a lot of stuff.
I've not seen it either, so...
Oh, here we go.
This one looks like a winner. It's only 13 episodes.
He's going to give it a 6 at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like something I can get behind.
There we go.
Yeah, just Evangelion. Yeah, you should watch it.
No, you see, that's the thing.
No, hold
Look,
on.
Troy,
He said he likes sad animes.
If you want these two guys to watch stuff, you have to be on it. Like, you have to be on it. Because, like, Robert will now listen to really good recommendations. He'll watch them. He'll give you his legit, honest opinion. Okay? He's objective.
Yeah, I give you my legit, honest opinion of them.
No, here's the thing.
Josh will give you his objective opinion based on things that do not exist in the material world, such as a hypothetical second season that does not exist. So therefore, it gets a 6.
By vote, who has seen Evangelion, like the original series?
All 3 of us have.
Yeah. Okay. Is it a fun anime?
No, but see, he doesn't. There's a reason why he probably won't like it, and it's probably closer to why he doesn't like Steins Gate.
I never got behind it because all I see is, like, I don't like mechs. It's hard for me to get behind a mech anime.
You're literally looking at 20% of that entire story.
Right, but it's the rest of the story that's probably going to hurt him.
Dude, when they're playing Beethoven's Ninth, when the 4th child is found, and literally Shinji's sitting there in the mech, and you're not hearing Shinji, but you're listening to Beethoven's fucking Ninth Symphony, Ode to Joy, and he's sitting there holding the 4th child. Oh my God, that is one of those like epic anime.
When it hits something that's considered to him to be a slow episode, and you're excited to talk about it, the first thing he'll say is the series is slow. And
your mama's slow too.
And he'll say so far he'd give it a 3, and then it's gonna break your heart. All right?
That's fine. That's fine. He's uncultured then, and I am done with him.
But he's getting better at this. He's getting better at this, though. To be honest, we talked about it. He's getting better at this.
If he watches 1, 2, and 3, he might get a better understanding of it. But man, God, that series, I need to rewatch it again. Son of a bitch, I hate y'all.
No, you need to watch the things that we
recommend. It's been like 12 hours of this week rewatching.
Watch Steins Gate.
You need to watch.
No, I need to rewatch, especially the last episode where they talk about the versions of Shinji.
You know what? If you're gonna watch anything, you need to watch those movies.
What movies?
Troy.
The Mummy and the Mummy 2. I love watching the Mummy.
No, you know what movies I'm talking about.
What? I'm gonna ask this since we're getting close to the end of the podcast. You planning on being back, Troy?
I don't know. Shit.
Depends on if he gets arrested for the conversation some people had in this podcast.
You watch this like second anime we're talking about. Well, you find out that the loli is a trap. All right, I'm done.
He's like, do I want to unmute?
Hey,
my name has already been mentioned 3 times.
Out of character, because in some of the anime they do a really good job of it. I've only been fooled twice. And that fooled like, oh, I like that character. It's just I'd never seen it coming, and then when it happened, I was like, oh my god. Lovely complex.
But she's a guy.
And it was lovely complex, and the this other one with like this master detective where this guy lives with a ghost. It's funny, but when you find out it's a dude, it's like, so this girl is like in a skirt, right? And she's sitting by him, and he like falls back, and he tries to brace himself with his hand. And when he does it, he accidentally hits her like in the crotch. So, you know, he's thinking she's a girl. When he falls back, he's expecting nothing to be there, but there's something there, and it's hilarious.
But she's a guy.
If we're gonna go back to that, we can go back to one of my original animes, Most Pieta. otherwise known as the third season of Macross, to which
Ooh.
one of the characters is
Oh.
a popular female pop singer. And what they do is they're a ragtag team of like Veritech pilots.
Yep.
Excuse me.
I
That
love that series.
fight the Invid. Is it the Invid at that point? It is the Invid.
Yeah.
And then you find out that it's actually a guy. And he pretends to be a girl on stage to hide the allure. And I'm like, no.
No, see, but you didn't see it coming though, right?
Oh, I could see it a mile. The sad part is I could see it a mile away. The reason being is I didn't watch the Japanese
Oh.
dubbed because when I originally watched it, it was Robotech, which was the American version.
Right. Okay.
So they already had a guy doing the voice.
Okay.
So
Well,
then dang.
I think it's time to end the podcast saying that we've shot way over and we're hitting
Yeah.
2 hours and 14 minutes.
Oh dang.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It was fun.
definitely fun. Troy, come back.
Can I come back? Troy's like, nah, I'm already left.
no, I'm already on.
He's
Sure.
already starting up that series again. He needs to be watching Steins Gate or Grand Blue. Watch Grand
Are you
Blue.
saying I shouldn't watch the Angels of Evangelion again?
I say this is what you should do. You should go to your Facebook and watch those 2 videos I sent you.
I think
actually
he
started
ought to
watching
just
like
open up
nothing
5
about
tabs
their
at a
ones,
time.
like-
That way he can just watch all of them at once.
That's how it feels watching Psyche.
Oh,
you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put it this way, Josh. I'll start listening to your requests when you start listening to mine.
The only one you've ever requested was the Evangelion.
Yeah. So the moment you start watching that son of a bitch, we might actually have some talk
Oh
time.
my god.
No, here's the other thing.
I'm warning
I
you,
suggested
Troy. I am
Perfect
warning
Blue.
you. You recommend that, and he watches it, and you don't get the response that you think
Oh,
you're going to get
we'll
from
go-
a normal
Yeah,
person.
we'll go 3 hours on
Going
that
to
one.
break
And it
your
won't
heart.
even be a podcast. It'll be just me and him arguing all night.
Robert, did that not happen the other day in our group chat? We figured out his whole rating system and all that.
Oh boy.
Well,
that went on for the whole day.
That was us basically just shitting on Josh for like 45 minutes.
Like, well, I'd recommend this, but I'd only give it a 6 because it doesn't have a second season.
but if you're
No, let's get into it.
no, let's not. We've
Okay,
already hit a
we're here
2-hour
for
mark. That'll
about
be
60
next.
minutes.
That'll be next week. That'll be next week. We
Oh
don't
my
need
God.
this to go on
He's
past
trying to-
midnight.
He's trying to craft a defense. Objection.
No, this is literally. We don't need this to go on past midnight. We are good. That'll happen next. That'll happen at the same time we get into Berserk
It's probably
2017
gonna happen
and all of
whenever we all
that.
hop
Nah.
in Discord.
No, you're not shifting. You're not shifting the thing to me talking about Berserk. Me and Michael are one on
Look,
this issue.
we're actually. I'm in agreement that I love the story, but they could change the animation, and I'd be happier with it. So
And I'm in agreement that the story is the reason that I watched it, and that's the reason that I still read the manga.
because outside of that, I agree. So we're in agreement. You can't tear us apart. We're together on this one.
There
One
you
Punch Man a 6 because it doesn't have a second.
No, One Punch Man wasn't because it didn't have a second season. I just didn't like it.
And you thought the humor was dry. That's what you said. The humor was
One
dry.
Punch Man,
in
the
Punch
humor
Man.
was dry.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
everyone,
dry.
everyone say your
everybody.
good nights or whatever. That way I can end this podcast and we will pick this up next week.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Well,
Did it.
thanks
Yeah.
for joining in with the AEO podcast. Everyone say good night or whatever.
We just did. All right.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.